from the top on down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series, and the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
The Tigers reclaim their crown by crushing Alabama.
Brady under center, victory formation, takes the snap, falls to an E, and that'll do it. The New England Patriots have won.
And Virginia with the all-time turnaround title.
We, the North, are now we, the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
Now, here are your hosts for Sports 56 Middays, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Land out in the countryside, lay back and smell the sun, warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some
Good morning, everyone. Hope your Tuesday morning is off to a terrific start. We welcome you into Sports 56 Middays on this Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at FedEx, providing global access for small business. Learn more at FedEx.com/e-commerce. Can't thank them enough for being a part of our program each and every day. Halfway through the month of October. And it was a busy Monday night in the world of sports locally and nationally, and there's a lot to get into on the program today. We'll talk about the Grizzlies, their third of 5 dress rehearsals, and their first against an NBA team didn't work out too well last night, and that's a bad NBA team that they played. But speaking of bad, the Grizzlies, we'll talk about their situation as we know it's a transition year for them, but just how long of a season will it be? We'll talk NFL as we wrap up week number 6. Last night, Monday Night Football, again, not without controversy with the officiating. The Lions may have been jobbed as the Packers come back and win. We will talk about that on the program today. The hypocrisy of LeBron James was a huge story yesterday, and although we don't really get into too much of the political end of things, I think we will have to touch on that as LeBron James is he's peeved off a few people, I would say, at the least. We also have the NLCS, and for the poor Cardinal fans like Austin, yikes. Washington wins 8-1 last night, and they can wrap it up tonight with a 4-game sweep. Meanwhile, the American League Championship Series resumes in New York with that series even at 1. We will discuss that, go over some college football odds, some college football notes, including starting quarterbacks announced for some regional teams. We got Humdinger's Trivia, give you a chance to win a gift certificate to Humdinger's. We got 2.5 questions on the docket today, and our guest list includes Brad Logan from the Clarion Ledger and SaturdayDownSouth.com to talk some Ole Miss, some Mississippi State, some SEC in general. Steve Macy from the University of Memphis on a number of things, including the change to the new hardwood. They have the new design this year for Memphis basketball. Well, they've already made a change, a little cosmetic surgery. We'll talk to him about that. And Don Wade will join us in studio for the Dish at 12. We'll wrap it up with one final thing. And also today, I know Eli was glued in, and I'm not being facetious, glued in listening to the XFL draft. The new XFL 2020 is holding its draft right now. How are you, man?
First of all, not just listening, but watching. But
I didn't see it. I walked over there. All I could do was hear it.
There's really not much to watch.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
This is not exactly the made-for-TV event that the NFL puts on.
I walked over your desk. I turned around and I looked, and all I saw was like a still shot, and I heard it. So I thought you were just listening to it on radio, basically.
Yeah, all there is basically a big Skype amongst everybody. And if you watch it, all you see is the draft board. And up in the corner, you see the main XFL draft room. And then whenever a team makes the pick, you see them real quick. They announce their pick, and they say the Dallas Renegades select whoever. and then they flash back to the other people, and they announce the pick, and then they flash back to Dallas, and they say confirmed, and then they go into the next team.
So
that's pretty much it.
Not quite the bells and whistles that go into the NFL draft each year.
No, it's a little different production value than the NFL. It is funny.
More organized for Vince this time than last time around, though.
The Renegades, the Renegades, their room loves every pick they make. Like, they hoop and holler. Every time they announce one of their picks, their guys all start clapping. No, the other one that did that was, there was one other one, I think, when they announced the confirmed, they went crazy one time. But it's
so who was the first overall pick? Give us a little bit of information from the XFL, just enough to wet the whistle of our listeners, and then we'll move on, possibly forever from the XFL.
Again, you have to remember that they are doing this in phases. So this first phase, you can only draft skill position players. This is just 10 rounds of skill position guys, and they already have a quarterback assigned, which Jordan Ta'amu, the former Ole Miss quarterback, he will be the quarterback of the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Nice.
Your boy, Brandon Silvers, will be a quarterback out in Seattle. Aaron Murray, the former Georgia Bulldog, is assigned to Tampa Bay. Matt McGloin from Penn State is going to New York. We already knew Landry Jones was going to Dallas. Cardale Jones, 12 gauge, he's back. He's going to D.C. Philip Walker, the former Temple quarterback, is going to Houston. And Luis Perez from somewhere is going to L.A.
Luis Perez, the former Birmingham Iron quarterback of the Alliance.
A&M Commerce,
maybe?
Yeah,
that's right. So there's 3 from the Alliance right there in the first 8 that were allotted. Cardale Jones, I love it, in Washington.
The Roughnecks, Houston, with Philip Walker. Apparently, they must not have been that satisfied with getting Philip Walker assigned to him, because they used the number 2 pick to take Connor Cook. So they wanted quarterback competition right away. They said, screw that. We got Philip Walker. Give us another quarterback right off the bat. First pick we're going to take here, it's going to be a quarterback.
Philip Walker was with the Colts in training camp.
Then my favorite pick so far, no question, number 6 overall, Christian Michael.
He's back.
I can't wait to start asking Sigmund Bloom XFL fantasy questions and see what Sigmund thinks of Christian Michael. But Rashard Davis, a wide receiver out of James Madison, was the first pick in the skill position phase of the draft.
So how many rounds in the skill position phase, do you know?
It's 10 in every round.
It's 10 in every
10
round.
in every phase, and then there's going to be
10 in every phase, okay.
I don't know. What did they fill?
7?
Then they fill the roster out to 71. There's going to be a bunch in the open phase.
Yeah, I'm looking at Twitter. PFT commenter from Barstool. He says 70-round XFL draft begins now, and Mel Kiper is absolutely crickets. Unacceptable. Hashtag ESPN.
Sammy Coates went in round number 3. Cameron Artis Payne, another former Auburn Tiger who had some time in the NFL, he went in round number 3. Fred Ross from Mississippi State went in round 3.
See, I like this kind of stuff, so I'm not going to rip you, but you destroy me for everything that's weird, off the beaten path that I watch or read, and here you are glued into the XFL draft. I mean, glued in. You know this left and right,
I wasn't
baby.
Glued in. I just had it on, and now I'm going down the list of draftees.
You're spotting squirrels on the Long Island Expressway. Whatever.
In round number 5, we did have a little combination of former American Athletic Conference quarterbacks who are no longer quarterbacks, which I didn't know. But Quentin Flowers, Memphis
USF.
fans will remember him for what he did to them at the Liberty Bowl. He is a running back now, apparently. He'll be playing for the Vipers, which is the I don't remember which team is the Vipers.
Is that New York?
Is it Seattle?
No, that's the Dragons, isn't it?
LA's the Wildcats. I don't know. Whoever the Vipers are. And then Keenan Reynolds, the former Navy quarterback, who's now a wide receiver, he went to the Dragons.
Yeah, I had no idea Keenan Reynolds was still playing football.
So the old American Conference, I don't think we'll see Riley Ferguson drafted as like a tight end or anything, but the former American Athletic Conference quarterbacks are flying off the board here in the XFL draft. I mean,
by the way, there's been a lot of those guys over the years that have played quarterback as a dual threat quarterback in the American that have gone on to play other positions. Greg Ward, remember Greg Ward? Mm-hmm. Who was a fantastic quarterback for Houston. He's in the NFL.
The
not a quarterback.
It is amazing though, because like they only got like a minute and a half, and I don't know if it ever drops down from a minute and a half but I mean, they're doing 70 rounds. They're drafting 70 guys. I can't imagine what it's going to be like. At like round 65, these teams are going to be like, I don't care. Give us anybody. Who's left on the board, for goodness sake?
Baseball amateur draft says, hold my beer.
But at least they're not.
What do they have, like 180 rounds?
Well, it's over a few days, first of all. But I don't know. It's just, they're drafting guys they know they may not even sign. This is like literally you're theoretically trying to get guys who might play for you. But it's going to be a long day for the folks at the various stations of the XFL, like to just do a 70-round draft.
And no Tigers as of yet. I don't think there are any Tigers available from the skill position. I don't think there was any named when those lists came out. But there are Tigers that will be chosen, I'm sure, during the course of this long draft for the XFL.
Could you imagine how long it would take the NFL to do a 70-round draft?
Oh, my God.
It would take them a month to finish that the way they go. I mean, it takes them forever to do 7 rounds. You multiply that by 10. They would be there. All right, we're going to dedicate the entire month of April to our draft. We'll let you know when we wrap up.
Good news is Roger Goodell might not be getting booed by the end of it. People might get tired.
It would be an 8-part series. They do 2 each week.
Mel Kiper's up there, hair just disheveled. He's like round 68, breaking down some wide receiver out of.
Bring in Frank Caliendo just to imitate everybody.
It's like McShay and him are just absolute fight at this point, arguing about the receiver out of Sanford.
Todd, this guy's the better pick.
But they're firing through these picks. We'll keep you updated.
I'd like to see
Eli
Kuiper's
will.
Get Stephen A. Smith up there to start.
His best available in round 69. I'd like to see just like the guys you would be I think this guy, Mel, seriously, you've never watched a single bit of film on this guy. There's no way in hell you've ever done that.
Yeah, you don't know who this guy is. You don't know. So anyway, that's going on. And also last night was, as I mentioned, a very busy night with the National League Championship Series, with the NFL wrapping up Week 6 and some controversy once again. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But the Grizzlies were back in action. And it was, again, a rehearsal, a preseason game. It was their final home preseason game, but their first against an NBA team, albeit Charlotte. But Charlotte made the Grizzlies look pretty bad as they won the game 120-99 for what it's worth. The Grizzlies will now play at Oklahoma City tomorrow. They'll play at San Antonio Friday, and that'll wrap up the 5-game preseason. They'll open the regular season next Wednesday in Miami, and then next Friday, a week from this Friday, will be the home opener against the Chicago Bulls. So we know Jonas Valanciunas is out. He's hopeful for the opener against Miami. I think it's very precautionary that they're keeping him out. Obviously, he had a busy summer playing for his national team in the FIBA World Cup. But nobody expects this team to be some great team with a lot of wins. They expect them hopefully to be competitive. But, man, there are some huge question marks on this team. One is not going to be Ja Morant, other than he's going to make some rookie mistakes. At times he's going to look bad, and most of the time I think he's going to look really good. He's going to be fun to watch. He's going to be a crowd pleaser. Other than that, what do we have? Brandon Clark, I think, is an actual steal. So give a lot of credit, as we've done already when it happened during the draft with Kleiman and company, for being able to get Brandon Clark along with Ja Morant. They seem to get the breaks this time around. They got the luck in the draft.
Pronouncing him a steal already.
Oh, I think so. I think Brandon Clark's going to be a steal. I really do. I love his motor. I love his athleticism. I mean, again, it's a preseason game, but last night, 16-12, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block in 20 minutes. So I like him. I like Jonas. I like Ja. Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously is a good player. I don't know if he'll ever be the great player that people hope he'll be. Last night, he was bad. He fouled out of the game. He fouled out. And the Grizz shot 39% from the field. From the field, 39%. Not from 3. 28.6% from 3 and 71% from the free throw line. Ja Morant had 15 points and 6 assists. His outside jumper is still questionable. I know the Vegas line was 26.5, 27 at different places, maybe even as high as 28. I'm about to give you my pick. Or give you my my guess on the
This
wins.
is good. Today is Greg overreacts to a preseason game Tuesday. I love it.
No.
We got Brandon Clark, the steal. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s terrible, and the Grizzlies are never going to win a game. I love this. I love the overreaction to preseason games. from
No,
Greg.
it's not just preseason. It's everything. I've looked. I've taken everything into consideration.
What? The summer league and preseason. That's all you can take into consideration.
Yeah, but you got rookies out there. You got a young team. You know that young teams make mistakes. You have a new coaching staff. You have some veterans that are, where's the depth on the team? I'm looking at the rotation. I'm thinking it's going to be it's Tyus Jones as the backup point guard, probably Grayson Allen at the 2, Kyle Anderson at the 3, and Brandon Clark, assuming Valanciunas is healthy, backing up as one of the bigs at 4, and maybe Bruno Caboclo. And then the guy from Croatia. What's his name?
Guduric.
Guduric. I think they were saying Guduric on the broadcast. But either way.
I didn't watch the broadcast.
That's your depth.
Preseason.
It was our friend. It was Pete, Brevin, Fish.
I love those guys. Preseason.
22 wins. There's your number. 22 wins. Hey, I told you Tennessee was going to win last week over Mississippi State. I'm pretty good at predicting. Once in a while. 22 wins. That's my number. 22 wins. If they play competitively, fans will understand.
Now, when they beat Oklahoma City on Wednesday, Thursday, he's going to come in and say 30 wins. I think they got him at 30.
I wouldn't play John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. the rest of the preseason. I wouldn't play them. I wouldn't. These games are meaningless, and it's 3 games in 5 days. I would not be playing these guys. I would doubt that. I think you're going to see that Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. rest tomorrow in Oklahoma City. Maybe they'll play a little bit on Friday. But 22 wins. I don't see it. But if you're going to go out there and you're going to be entertained and they're going to be competitive, that'll be great. But it is a preseason game. I understand that. But the Hornets could be the worst team in the NBA. Could. Being the key word, the operative word.
And a win total for them after your assessment of last night?
No, I don't know them. I don't know them well enough. But they don't have any stars on that team, but they have, I think, more overall depth than the Grizzlies do. But anyway, we know it's going to be a long year. But will it be fun to watch them, or will they be getting drubbed by 25 every game? That's the question. And we know it had to be done. The overhaul had to be done. Nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing with the moves that the front office has made, that they made the coaching changes. I mean, everything, I think, was needed. So I applaud them. And again, I hope that at least they're going to be a fun team to watch, even in defeat. And they would shock me if they won 30 or more games this year.
I don't think they will win 30 games this year.
But I'm going below the Vegas number. 22 is my win total.
What makes you down on Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I think he's
than a preseason game?
I think he's a really good player, but I don't think he's going to be a great player. I said this last year. I'm not saying it in reaction to a preseason game from last night. He's got a high motor. I don't think he's a really good rebounder for a big guy.
Well, that's obvious.
If he can consistently hit a three-pointer for a big man outside, that'll, I think, certainly upgrade him. But he fouls an awful lot. He's got to move better with his feet to get in position, to take a charge, not be moving while he's trying to get in position. These are just little observations, but I don't think I'm alone in this. He's a really good player. Really good. Not good, really good. But I don't know if he'll ever be a star. John Morant has star potential.
Well, if you think he's already really good at 20 years old, that would lend himself to becoming a star.
But I think there's a ceiling on him. I think
you think he's reached his ceiling at 20 years old?
I'm not saying he's reached his ceiling. I don't think he'll be a star. I don't see star potential. I see he could be a really, really good player. I'm not saying he couldn't, 1 year be an all-star player, but I'm talking about a consistent star in the league. I think John Morant has way more upside. And, I saw some tweets yesterday. It's like, they're going to be better off without Valanciunas. What? Valanciunas is a good player. And while I do like Brandon Clark, and I think he's going to be a steal, I think he really will help the team down the road. But Valanciunas, if you're going to be competitive in any of these games, you need that guy. You need his physicality and his ability to score down low, clean up messes. But if Jackson Jr. if he starts to really, stick his nose into a loose ball and really get physical, I think he'll up his stock. I don't know if we'll see that. And then I'm looking at the outside shooting, and still, even though they went out and got outside shooters, how good they'll be. I mean, Josh still doesn't have and I don't think he'll ever have this great, consistent outside shot, but he's such a great playmaker. Brooks is going to be the key for this team to be competitive because he's going to get a lot of shots on the perimeter. And Grayson Allen, more than likely, I would think Dylan Brooks will start, even though Grayson started last night. Kyle Anderson, I don't even know what he brings to the table, to be honest with you. He can't shoot. I don't know what he does. But
he's supposed to be a playmaker. He doesn't fit what they're doing now.
No,
especially now with John.
You got John Morant, and then you got Tyus Jones, who I like an awful lot as a backup point guard. He may end up being the best outside shooter on the team. Like when it comes down to it and it's all over, he may have the best 3-point percentage. But, up front, your backups are, I guess, Caboclo will get some time. I don't know. My assumption is Plumlee will be released, and I don't know. Did Solomon Hill even play last night?
Let me look at the old trusty box score.
Because right now they're going to have to cut 2 of those guys, unless Iguodala's some deal is made before next week.
Bruno and Solomon did not play.
Yeah, I think Bruno will be on the team. He's partially guaranteed right now. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's fully guaranteed yet.
I'm not sure.
I don't know when the date is, but I would think right now if they're having to cut 2, it would be Plumlee, and I don't know about Rab or Hill. Do they want to keep the veteran in there with an expiring contract, or they want another big? Once again, last night, Ivan Rab gets in there and hustles. That's all he does is hustle, and he gets rebounds, and he plays physical. I like him. But he's never strong enough offensively.
20 minutes, 9 points, 8 rebounds.
It's not bad.
Plumlee was 2 points, 3 rebounds in his 10 minutes. And again, Bruno and Solomon did not get in the game. Dusty Hannes.
Just signed. Boom. Playing. 4 points.
Played 4 minutes. Conchar played 4 minutes.
Did he score 4 points? Or was it just 4 minutes I saw?
Dusty scored 4 points.
Yeah, 4 points in 4 minutes.
2 for 3 from the field in 4 minutes of action.
All he does is make shots. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Do want to tell you about Davis Motorhome Mart, one of the top 10 Tiffin dealers in the entire United States, with over 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, and toy haulers, towable half-tons, motorhomes that range from 27 feet up to 45 feet in length. Brands like Winnebago, Coachman, Puma, Highland Ridge, and the aforementioned Tiffin. They are the first-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Middays, and we can't thank them enough for being a part of our show. They got the big blowout sale going on right now on all the 2019s, brand new 2019s, discounted, the lowest you'll get price all year long, because right now they're trying to make room for their 2020. So they're trying to move these things out. If you've been thinking about a motorhome, you need to check them out. They're at 1145 East Brooks Road. You can call them at 901-332-3414 or go online to davismotorhome.com. 100% family-owned and operated. These people have been in business a long time. They know what they're doing. They can answer any question you have. When you call them, please tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. Leave the stress at home. Get away. Travel to your favorite cities in a motorhome from Davis Motorhome Mart. Again, first-hour sponsor of the Middays show.
Former Dallas Cowboy Lance Dunbar off the board.
Taken by?
Dallas, of course. Got to keep him at home.
Bobby Stoops.
He went to school at North Texas, played for the Cowboys. Got to keep him with the Renegades.
You know who the OC is for Bob Stoops? With the Renegades?
I think that's Hal Mummy.
It is Hal Mummy.
Unless he gets fired from that job before they actually play a game.
What was Hal Mummy's aerial attack called? It wasn't Air Raid, or was it? Who was Air Raid? I'll have to look that up during the break. All right, when we come back,
Air Raid is
that
Leach.
Leach? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it with Mummy? I'll look that up. When we come back, a little bit on last night's National League Championship Series Game 3. Not much for the Cardinals fans out there. The Nats a win away.
There was a game last night?
From wrapping it up. And we will talk NFL as we look back at Week 6 in the National Football League. Just underway on a Tuesday. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Let's talk credit card debt for a minute. If you feel you're carrying too much of it, you're not alone. The average household in the U.S. carries over $8,000 in credit card debt. Ready for some good news? With a cash-out refinance from Quicken Loans, you can quickly and easily put some of the equity in your home to good use by paying off a lot of that high-interest credit card debt. A great way to take cash out is with our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN to learn how taking cash out with a 30-year fixed mortgage might be the right solution for you. And for a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rates subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Need physical therapy but don't know where to go? Tried physical therapy but had a bad experience? Grab your physician's referral and head to Revolution Physical Therapy at the corner of Goodman and Getwell. At Revolution PT, you'll get one-on-one, hands-on therapy. Better and more thorough than just going to the gym. Revolution is locally owned and staffed by neighbors who care about your maximum recovery. And they accept all major insurances. Certified in dry needling, expert in myofascial release. Always relaxed and friendly. Revolution Physical Therapy is just what you need. DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
This is Jason Mott. Join me November 9th downtown at the Column for our 8th annual Jason Mott Foundation Cornhole Challenge. Doors open at 6. For tickets and more information, click the events tab at jasonmottfoundation.org. Looking forward to seeing you out there, and let's strike out cancer.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motor Home Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
The American League Championship Series scene shifts to the Big Apple. Game 3 this afternoon beginning at 3:08. Yankees and the Astros. Good series already. Even at 1. Garrett Cole, the man, the myth, the legend, will go for the Astros. Luis Severino, who was good in his start against Minnesota in the divisional series, he will go for the Bronx Bombers. Meanwhile, it's the Cardinals and the Nationals. Game 4, the possibility of a clincher tonight in Washington at Nationals Park at 7:05 Central Time. In that game, Dakota Hudson will get the ball from Mike Schilt. And Washington's countering with who? Patrick Corbin?
Corbin is going, yes, for Washington tonight.
Yesterday, an easy win for Washington. They played at 4 in the third with 2 outs off of Jack Flaherty, a misplayed ball by Marcell Ozuna. If you could say misplayed ball, he slid, he got his glove on it, he should have caught it. It wasn't an easy play, but they ended up plating the 4 runs. They would go on to score 4 more. The Cardinals have scored 2 runs in the entire series on 11 total hits. Steven Strasburg, 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. The National pitchers combined to strike out 16 Cardinals.
Yeah, it's been rough for the Cardinals offense. The 2 runs they've scored have been on misplayed balls, or the last time was an error on the throw by Soto. I mean, they could very well have 0 runs through 3 games.
Jose Martinez, who pinched hit in the first 2 games and got a hit each time, has 4 of the 11 Cardinals hits. He started last night and got 2 more hits. So 4 total of the 11.
I am heartbroken over the Cardinals' struggles. I'm really distraught.
Is this a combination of...
At least we got there.
Is this a combination of great pitching by the Nats and guys struggling for the Cardinals at the plate, or is this just one of those deals where the Cardinals all of a sudden just have gone completely cold?
Well, in these situations, hitters
all
press.
Together.
Once it starts going bad, everybody's pressing. Everybody's trying to hit a 6-run home run. Everybody's trying to be the hero. And the more you do that against good pitching, the more it's going. I mean, it's just a snowball effect as it continues.
Well, the argument would be that the Cardinals really weren't a good hitting team anyway during the whole year. They figured it out. They always seem to figure it out, and they figured out a way to get to the playoffs. They made the great run, swept your Cubs in a big series. Then they come back. They beat the Braves in 5 in a great series, and then all of a sudden the bats go completely cold. But they weren't a great hitting team.
No, they weren't
during the regular season.
They're not a great hitting team. You can look up and down that line. They're not by any means a great hitting team. But you get into a championship series and start struggling, it compounds itself because everybody feels so much pressure because it's the championship series and we got to win this one. Game 1, it's like game 1 at home. All right, we need this one. We're facing San Jose. Well, things start going bad, and then now you're game 2. It's like, oh my gosh, we can't lose both games at home. We got to do something, and it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And
they're swinging at everything. That's like you last saying. They are swinging at pitches that are so far out of the zone I could have thrown them up.
Which
there. I mean, it's
guys pressing leads to a bunch of strikeouts and nobody ever taking a walk. Like it's just everybody's trying to be the hero.
Jack Flaherty had more plate discipline last night than most of the Cardinal hitters.
But think about it. You got Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg. These are 2 of the best pitchers in baseball for the last 5 or 6 years, and they finally put it all together in a playoff series. So you have this combination. Then you throw in the fact that Sanchez pitched out of his mind in game 1, and now Corbin, who's had a good season, will get the ball in game number 4. There's no pressure. Only one team, the Red Sox, have come back from down 3-0 in a best of 7. So the Nationals are going to win this series. It's just a matter of when they'll get it done. If they clinch tonight, they got a long time that they can relax and rest and get ready for the next the World Series because their next opponent, the Yankees and the Astros, I got a feeling this one's going to go deep, maybe 7.
Raider Course says, I don't understand why Schilt refuses to make adjustments. Dexter, at the very least, should be removed from the leadoff spot.
Agreed.
But wasn't
Amen.
the move
Preach
of
it.
Dexter to the leadoff spot was supposedly the whole reason for the run at the end of the season, I thought.
But the fact of the matter is now he's hitting sub 100. Like you got to make adjustment. He made an adjustment then to put Dexter in the leadoff spot. Now you got to make the adjustment to see who's better in the leadoff spot because it's clearly not Fowler. but Shield is a very loyal guy, unfortunately, to a fault.
Did a left-hand hitter ever get a hit last night? That is amazing.
They might have after I turned the game off.
As of the 5th inning or whatever last night, they faced 3 right-handed starters. They do not have a hit from a left-handed hitter in the series. That's astonishing to think about. And now they're going to face a left-hander tonight. I was like, when they were saying that last night, they were like, oh, I can't remember, they're 0 for whatever. I was like, oh my gosh. Obviously, there isn't many hits at all, but that's crazy that not one hit from a left-handed hitter when you have faced 3 right-handed starters in the series.
No, you're absolutely right.
By the way, how mummy was the air raid?
Yeah,
a couple folks texted in. Mike Leach was an assistant, got it from him,
and disciple of the mummy system.
Somebody says if they cut Bruno Caboclo, that's dumb. He's a baller, and Dusty can shoot threes better than anyone on the team. I would definitely keep Bruno. I would keep Bruno Caboclo. Just his athleticism and length alone, and he's cost you literally nothing. Mm-hmm. I would be willing to keep Caboclo for at least another year just to see what he might be able to be. He was pretty good in the FIBA World Cup. He did some things. Defensively, he can guard some guys that probably nobody else on this team can guard defensively.
And he fits what they're doing. He's a young player who can get up and down the court, run Taylor Jenkins' system, and I like him. I think he's a terrific athlete. So I'm pretty convinced, again, assuming Iguodala is still on the roster next week, they haven't made any type of move. He counts for one of the spots. Josh Jackson opening up in South Haven with the hustle. That's another spot. So now you're down to 13, and that includes DeAnthony Melton, who is hurt for probably the first month of the season. So now you're down to 12. Okay, and again, you could use the two-way guys if you need to, in Yuta Watanabe and John Conchar. But it means you're going to have to cut 2. So who you cutting? I think Plumlee is absolutely one of the casualties. Now it'll come down to whether or not you get rid of Rab or get rid of Solomon Hill or I guess possibly Caboclo. And I don't think they'll get rid of Caboclo. So I think that's what they'll end up doing.
And as far as the Dusty Hannah stuff, yes, Dusty is a great shooter. Dusty could stand there and shoot the lights out.
In the G League.
And he's a really good G League player. He's just not an NBA guy. There's size limitations, there's defensive limitations, there's a lot of limitations there that are going to prevent him from being an NBA guy. He's not going to be on the Grizzlies.
I was like, he can't even be on the Grizzlies this year, right? Because he signed that Exhibit 10 contract.
Well, he could.
Well, they could cut somebody.
They could cut somebody and sign him if they wanted, but they're not going to do that. They signed him to be a part of the hustle.
Look, any team can do it. If they thought he was good enough to play at the NBA level consistently, another team would sign him. Everybody knows the guy can shoot.
He was trying to get a 2-way contract, couldn't get that. It's just if it was just a 3-point shootout, yes, Dusty would be absolutely an NBA player. But it's not that.
Coming up at 11, Brad Logan will join us to talk some Ole Miss and Mississippi State, some SEC football. There was some news yesterday. Joe Moorhead announcing that Garrett Schrader will be his starting quarterback over Tommy Stevens. And Brian Maurer did take practice reps on Sunday after getting hurt Saturday in the Vols win over Mississippi State. He is expected to be back for Alabama and starting for the Tennessee Volunteers. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll look back at the NFL, week number 6 in the books. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
For the best lineup of quality, fuel-efficient, and fun-to-drive vehicles, get to Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan. Over 1,000 new certified and pre-owned vehicles in one great location. Catch the savings now during our huge model year-end sales event. Score an amazing deal at Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan and get to the game in style at Germantown Road and Highway 64. Family owned since 1981.
It's car buying time now during Wolf Chase Nissan's Summer Savings Event. More cars, better offers, and bigger savings than ever before. Model year-end savings on every new 2019 Nissan in stock. Financing as low as 0% up to 60 months on select models for qualified buyers with approved credit through NMAC. Hurry in for exciting summer savings. And remember, if your car says Wolf Chase Nissan, you got the best deal. WolfChaseNissan.com.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Check it out.
What, this is Sweetgrass?
I know, isn't it great?
Look at the giant bar and those TVs.
They've made a few improvements.
This is amazing. I thought Sweetgrass was perfect, but this is even better. Now I know why we haven't been to Sweetgrass in almost a week. I thought that was strange.
Yep, they've been busy making the atmosphere here at Sweetgrass even friendlier. And now you can catch a game here too.
The menu?
Still great food prepared by great chefs. Now it's just even more relaxed.
Just when I thought I couldn't love Sweetgrass more, they proved me wrong.
Welcome back to Amazon Prime One-Day Delivery Trivia. Now to the next question. If Adam can get a chainsaw in 1 day with Amazon Prime One-Day Delivery, and Sharon can get a leaf blower in 1 day with one-day delivery, what are the odds their neighbor will order noise-canceling headphones with Amazon Prime One-Day Delivery? Yes, Sarah.
Pretty good?
Correct. Introducing one-day delivery from Amazon Prime. Order from millions of items. Peace and quiet delivered.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Middays. Don't forget, we'll have Humdinger's Trivia coming up at 11. Then Brad Logan will join us. But I want to talk some NFL now. Week 6 in the books after last night's Monday night game between the Packers and the Lions. Packers rallied to win 23-22 to improve to 5-1. But there was at least 3, maybe 4 horrible calls. And they all seem to go against Detroit, which has no luck at all. And it possibly cost the Lions that football game. There are many that believe it did, but the Packers end up coming back to win the game after trailing by as many as 13 points.
Well, certainly the last one made it so the Lions had no chance to win. The others earlier cost them points, but the last one allowed the Packers to run the clock all the way down and then kick the field goal in the last play of the game, where they would have had to kick the field goal with, I want to say there was about 1:45 or something left, and then the Lions would have had the ball back with an opportunity to go get a field goal of their own to try and win it. The 2 hands to the face calls, both against Trey Flowers, both on replay showed that he never got on the face of the offensive lineman at all. It was on his shoulder pads. So not sure how you get that as illegal as the face. The one, and the referee, he said after, I still don't get this, because the one on the defensive back, he is diving to make an interception.
Right.
At the same time, the receiver's diving to make the catch, and their helmets hit each other, and they call him for a helmet for penalty for the helmet-to-helmet contact.
He said anytime there's helmet-to-helmet contact, there's the penalty.
Yeah, the referee says that's all on the defensive back. Like he has to avoid, like, really, like, so when I'm a defensive back and the ball's thrown my direction and it looks like I have a chance to make an interception, before I dive to make said interception, I have to look around, See if there's any receivers who might also be diving in my way where their helmet will be in the area of my helmet and we might collide.
Right.
That's just dumb. If that's the way the rule is, that's just idiotic. Like, you got to let the guy try and make an interception. He didn't even know the receiver was there. Like, he's just trying to make an interception.
And I like Booger. There are some people that don't on the broadcast, but he really got into it with John Perry, who is the retired official that they use on ESPN in the Monday night game. And it seemed at first Perry was trying to give the official the benefit of the doubt. And then it was obvious that it was the wrong deal. It was a wrong call. And Booger got into it, and rightly so. I thought he did a great job with that, because I was just talking about this yesterday, about the retired officials who are now part of these broadcasts, whatever network it may be. And a lot of times they've been differing in opinion from what's being called on the field. And I appreciate that. I seem to tend to believe them more than I do the official on the field. But yeah, that was bad. And it continues to be bad in the National Football League.
The one at the end of the game was funny because John Perry, like, they're like, all right, let's see where the hands of the face is, and the play's happening. And John Perry goes, I think it comes late. And then it never comes. And he goes, yeah, I don't see anything on that angle. Like, it was clear. He just had the shoulder pad. Now the offensive lineman, for whatever reason, head was going back, but it wasn't because Trey Flowers' hand was on his face. Trey Flowers' hand was on his shoulder pads, and that's it. And it was both plays were almost the exact same, and they called both of them.
Yeah, there are some that want to. They tend to agree more, or at least side with the officials because they were an official, until it's obvious from visual evidence that they were wrong. The guy for the NBA, the former NBA official that's on ESPN,
Steve Javie.
Steve Javie always seems to side with the official. And I think they do a pretty good job, especially Mike Pereira, who is fantastic. He tells it like it is. But anyway, so that's happening last night. The Lions probably got screwed.
It was a rough weekend, as I said yesterday, from the high school, literally from the high school level here in Memphis, through college, where we had one where they had to admit, yeah, you guys should have won, but we didn't let you because we screwed that up. And then the NFL all weekend, it was a just train wreck of officiating.
And it has been all season with the interference calls and the non-reversals. And not to mention, of course, when you're talking about college, what happened with the Tigers and Temple, which is still amazing to me. But Detroit, which is actually a pretty good football team, they are improved. To watch the Lions play pretty good football and the Buffalo Bills play pretty good football, it's like bizarro world. But there they are in last place, where they normally are in the NFC North at 2-2-1. Give the Packers credit. They rally and they win that game 5-1. Elsewhere in the NFL, Kirk Cousins finally comes through with 4 touchdown passes. The Vikings throttle the Eagles. And Stephon Diggs, a Stephon Diggs sighting, 7 catches, 167 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And the player who was released by the Eagles, who called Cousins the weakest link?
Zach Smith, I believe it is.
I thought it was Brown.
Maybe it's Brown, yeah.
I think it's
Zach Brown.
That's right, because it's the band. Same as the band.
The Zach Brown band.
Yeah, that's what threw me off first time.
They released him yesterday. They said, it had nothing to do with the comments or anything like that. But they released him, and now supposedly there's a number of NFL teams that are interested in acquiring him. But the Vikings and Kirk Cousins kind of got the last laugh there.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, if you're going to be, if you want to be the whole, I think he's terrible, all this stuff, and then he lights you up, well, be a man and accept that. Don't then in his locker like, anybody got any questions about the game? It is about the game. They're talking about the quarterback who just lit you up, who you said was terrible.
Absolutely.
So this is about the game. So answer the questions. Like, you thought you were all cocky last week. I guarantee you, if Kirk Cousins had been terrible today, you'd be all talking about Kirk Cousins and how you were right. So talk about how you were wrong, because he just lit you up.
Absolutely. You got to put your money where your mouth is. Minnesota, by the way, with that win, go to 4-2. So they're a game behind Green Bay. One of the marquee games, the Chiefs and the Texans. The Chiefs lose at home for the second straight week. The Texans win 31-24. I think Patrick Mahomes is laboring a little bit. He's not 100%. The gate, obviously, is not what it normally is. He still threw for 3 touchdowns and 273 yards, but he was outplayed by Deshaun Watson. I thought Deshaun Watson was incredible running that Texans offense. Threw for 280 and a touch, ran for 2. Deshaun Watson's the real deal. And this is one where Dabo Swinney said you guys are missing out here. And he was absolutely right.
Yeah, I love Deshaun. He is, and going against the Chiefs defense is a nice bonus. but yeah, I think Deshaun Watson, and he's got some good weapons too. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller are outstanding set of receivers, and our boy Kiki Cutie as the third guy. But Chiefs, like their offense, I don't know if it's the injury or what, but they just, because they got Tyreek Hill back, so it wasn't that. But they're not able to run the ball really at all. They're not even trying a whole lot to run the ball. I'm not sure if some defenses are figuring some things out or what it is with the Chiefs offense.
Seahawks rally and win at Cleveland. The Seahawks are good. They're 5-1, and the Browns are not so good. They're 2-4. I saw this tweet yesterday. I had to retweet it. This comes from CBS Sports HQ. This season, Baker Mayfield has less passing touchdowns than Mason Rudolph, less passing yards than Andy Dalton, a lower completion percentage than Luke Falk, who was just cut by the Jets, and a lower quarterback rating than Eli Manning. He also has the most interceptions in the NFL. It has not been good at all for Baker Mayfield, who threw 3 picks in that game against the Seahawks, while Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes.
Russell Wilson's playing. I mean, Russell Wilson's almost been perfect this year. He's borderline perfect quarterback so far this year, and Baker, there's no excuse. I mean, Nick Chubb is running the ball great. You've got Landry and OBJ as receivers. There's no excuse for him to be as bad as he's been.
Is any of it the offensive play calling by Freddie Kitchens, the new coach, the whole system, or is this squarely and only on
It's
Baker?
not a new system. Same system they had last year. Freddie Kitchens was the coordinator last year when he was so good.
That's right, but that's true. That's true. He was calling the plays. No, you're right.
Blame the system.
No, you're right.
This was the system that everybody fell in love with Baker Mayfield.
So this is all on Baker, and it should be.
I mean, he's playing terribly.
Okay. Speaking of playing terribly, I have to bring it up, my friend. The Cowboys have lost 3 straight, and they lost to the Jets. Let me say it again. They lost to the Jets. The Jets get their first win. Sam Darnold returns from mono. He throws 2 touchdown passes in his return. Dak gets the touchdown run in the final minute, but the 2-point conversion fails, and they fail to go to overtime. The Jets come away with the win. The Jets, the Jets, Jets.
Listen, I told people early in the year when everybody was falling all over themselves to tell me how good the Cowboys were, that they've played the 3 possibly worst teams in the league. Let's see what happens when they play somebody decent. And they've now lost 3 in a row. They're not that good. And granted, they played this game without their 2 offensive tackles, which is a big loss. And they also lost Amari Cooper early in the game. They were,
but they paid all that money to Zeke.
I give Dak credit, or I give Dak a little bit. Like it's there's a bit of an excuse there without your 2 tackles and without Amari Cooper to throw to. But they have the same problems they've had before. They get in the red zone. They can't score touchdowns. They end up having to settle for field goals. They couldn't punch the ball in the end zone in this game. A couple of different times. They had a terrible play call on a 4th down play where it was just trying to run Dak to the left, which I didn't understand that play call. But
they paid all the money to Zeke, Eli.
Zeke had a very good game.
Yeah, but they're not winning football games. The whole point of the argument about Zeke and paying him his money or any running back is why? Why? The shelf life of running backs is not long. You don't necessarily win, even with running backs having good games. So why pay all that money to those running backs? Just throw in any other kind of running back who will do maybe not as good a job, but enough to at least put them in the same position they are. And currently, that's losing.
Zeke was the offense the other day.
It's not good enough, though. That's the whole point. Why pay that much money to a running back if you're still going to lose football games?
Because they'll lose more without Zeke. If you think Zeke is the problem here and not Dak, then you're just not watching this team.
I don't think it's the problem, but again, I can understand why people say, why spend all that money on a running back? Todd Gurley's handsomely paid. He gets hurt. Now he's hurt again. They lose.
Zeke isn't getting hurt. Zeke is out there healthy every time.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's comparable from
Zeke's out there healthy and producing. He is making his money.
Well, Dak Prescott was pretty good earlier in the season.
Against terrible teams.
But you just mentioned
they're 3 of the worst pass defenses in the league.
Yeah, but you got your weapons are down. With a quarterback, you need a lot of help. You need your receivers. You got your receiver down. You need your offensive lineman. You got your offensive lineman down.
I just said I give Dak a break on this one. But I'm telling you, as soon as they pay him his $30 million, it's done. He's not that good of a quarterback.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Jameis Winston, 5 interceptions in London as the Panthers beat the Buccaneers 37-26. Kyle Allen's now 4-0. Cam Newton reportedly is back to practice or is going to be close to coming back to practice.
They said after the bye week, they think he could be ready to go.
I don't know. I wouldn't make the change right now. Kyle Allen is a perfect 4-0. Teddy Bridgewater is a perfect 4-0 for the Saints. Now, you're talking about Drew Brees. Again, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I mean, if the guy's 4-0, you keep rolling with him until he loses? And then the Titans. Marcus Mariota pulled in the third quarter, 7 of 18, 63 yards, 2 picks, replaced by Ryan Tannehill. The Titans have lost 4 of 5. The question is, I saw this, I don't know who brought it up, somebody on social media. Is it over for Mariota and Winston, part of that same recruiting class? Not recruiting class, but signing class.
Draft,
that's what I meant.
First and second picks overall.
So is it over for them?
I don't think it's over for Winston.
Arian says he'll start again.
Mariota, I think it might be over with the Titans. He very well could get another chance, but it's not working. I mean, they're not doing anything offensively.
All right. We'll take a break. When we come back, Humdinger's Trivia.
Renegades, possibly.
And we'll be joined by Brad Logan to talk some SEC football. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell here at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want you to think about something for just a second. When was the last time you totally surprised your wife or your girlfriend with something nice for no reason at all? Not a birthday, not an anniversary, for no reason other than to show her how much you care about her. For almost 35 years, I've been helping Memphis men show their ladies the deep appreciation that they have for them and how grateful they are to have those girls in their lives. Birthdays and other occasions, well, gifts are expected, but a lot of times the unexpected presents given for no reason other than love have the most impact and say the most to her. Those gifts say you care all the time, every day. At Russell Brothers Jewelers, we've been helping men say I love you for a long time. The size or the price of the gift most times is of little importance. It's the thought you put into it that will make her smile. Come see me, Bill Russell, at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Let me help you find just the right thing, large or small, that will let her know how you feel.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by The Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a 1-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:02 the time, hour 2, Sports 56 Middays on this Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their factory direct pool table and spa sale going on right now. Pool tables as low as $12.99. And, of course, Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at the FedEx Corporation. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how to turn browsers into buyers. Learn how FedEx can help you take your business to the next level.
We've had an unbelievable text that at some point we got to get to on Mike Schilt. I apologize to the person who said it because it came in so weird. It's one line at a time, and they're all completely out of order. But I think I have now completely figured it out. And when we get it, I make sure I've got it all figured out and all included. Then we will read that later on in this hour. But it is a letter to Mike Schilt, which is pretty funny, actually. It is time for Humdinger's Trivia. Your opportunity to win a $25 gift card to Humdinger's over at Poplar and Massey. Go and enjoy some great food over there. Very good food, very healthy food, very inexpensive food as well. Today, really inexpensive because it's Tuesday, and that means it's Taco Tuesday. You can get the fish or chicken tacos for just $2 each over at Humdinger's. Absolutely fantastic. But every day, they've always got great options for you. Again, very inexpensive. All the different grilled fish options that they've got there, including the tilapia, the rainbow trout, the mahi-mahi, the salmon. You can throw a little skewer of grilled shrimp in there as well. They've got crispy fish and chips. The chicken, they've got the crispy tenders, or you can get the boneless, peri-peri boneless breast. Salads they've got. They've got the tacos, as I mentioned, sandwiches as well. All kinds of different options and so many great healthy options to choose from at Humdinger's, again, at Poplar and Massey. You can win a $25 gift card if you could be the first to answer today's trivia question via text at 67129. 67129. If you've never joined our text team, you do need to text 56JOIN to 67129 to be signed up. And then you can text us or any of the shows anytime. But to answer via text, the first one to get it right gets the $25 gift card to Humdinger's. So Kyle Allen, now the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, is 5-0 as a starting quarterback in his NFL career. Who holds the NFL record for the most consecutive regular season wins by a quarterback to start their career? Who holds the record for the most consecutive wins by a quarterback to start their career? Text your answers to 67129. First to get it right gets the $25 gift card to Humdinger's.
Brad Logan joining us here in just a moment to talk some SEC football, specifically Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Mississippi State will host LSU this Saturday. Ole Miss has Texas A&M. Tomorrow, by the way, Middays will be on the road. We'll be at the Crown Plaza East Hotel for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School All-Star Game Coaches Luncheon, something that we bring you each and every year. They'll announce the coaches. We'll have them on our airwaves tomorrow for the All-Star Game, which will take place. Do you know the date off the top of your head? It'll be sometime in December.
The second Saturday of December, if it says normal. I don't know what that date is.
Also, our Wednesday regulars, Jerry Palm, Sigmund Bloom, Dinner and a Movie. It's all coming up on the program tomorrow.
The Saturday after the SEC championship game. Whatever that date is, that will be the Saturday that is.
Mark it down on your calendar. Time now to talk some college football, again, specifically a little SEC football with our friend Brad Logan, reporter columnist for the Jackson Clarion Ledger, SaturdayDownSouth.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan, COTE. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Hey, guys, how y'all?
Doing fantastic. So I saw this tweet of yours yesterday, and I thought it was quite interesting because we were talking about this on the program, I think yesterday. Somebody had texted you, I guess, or tweeted you, and they said, Brad, is the pressure mounting in Oxford for Matt Luke? You said, I'm not sure it matters, honestly. There is no way a move is made on Matt Luke this season, even if he loses out. It looks like to me the team is improving. All right, so even if they lost out, even if they don't get to a bowl, you think his job is secure, it's safe?
Without question. I think with an athletic director that is non-existent right now. There's an interim athletic director, but from all accounts, the brand new chancellor, Dr. Glenn Boyce, is not going to go the direction of Keith Carter, who's the current interim athletic director. Judging by the people I've talked to and judging by the interview he gave last week with Chuck Rounsaville, the Ole Miss Spirit, it just sounds like that he's not going that direction. Secondly, I think with Ole Miss improving from week 1 to whatever week we're in, I just don't think there will be anything in place, judging by how I think they played. Now, obviously, we're in a school board business, but last year when Alabama beat Ole Miss, it was 62-3. This year, Ole Miss showed a pulse and scored 31 points on Alabama. It comes back, it beats Vanderbilt handily. It's beaten Arkansas earlier in the year. Played pretty well against a Cal team that was better than them. They lost. And then, of course, last week against Missouri, I think seeing a pulse from this offense when it was down 31-14. Ole Miss had about 3 plays in that game to where it'd like to have back. The holding call on Jason Pellerin, Miles Battle that nullified a touchdown would have given Ole Miss a 14-7 lead, a 14-13 lead. In the meantime, Ole Miss does not score. It ends up punting. Secondly, late in the game, Ole Miss was trailing 31-24. He had an opportunity to score off the fingertips of Elijah Moore, and they don't convert there. And then finally the score that didn't happen before the end of the first half when Matt Luke, which by the way I agree with the call, I agree with going with it, 4th and inches, doesn't get it. And those are the 3 main plays. I think anytime you look at a football game, you can pick out 3 or 4 plays that kind of maintain what would have happened or what should have happened. Look, Missouri was a better football team than Ole Miss. I don't think anybody's arguing that, but there were 3 plays that Ole Miss left on the field. At the end of the day, I think this team is improved vastly, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball. And barring an unforeseen, off-the-field incident with Matt Luke, which, that's not going to happen, I think he'll be back next year.
Going back to the AD thing, you said Keith Carter, you don't think when do you think they will have an AD?
Well, judging by the conversations I've had and from listening to Dr. Glenn Boyce in about 2 or 3 interviews, I expect that to happen over the next couple of months. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. He's already got a couple of search committees narrowed down that he wants to use. And then I look for this to move very, very quickly, similar to the way this chancellor process went from, in first year, all of a sudden it went to overdrive within a couple of days, really, and they hired Dr. Boyce. And then, like I said, I think just by looking at this from the outside looking in and who I've talked to, it would not surprise me to have an athletic director named before Christmas.
When do you expect the uproar about the hiring of President Boyce to settle down, if it will at all?
I'm not sure it ever will, and that's something that he's going to have to fight through. It's something he's going to have to climb out of, and unfortunately for him, judging going back to the way the IHL, hired Dr. Boyce, it put him in an incredibly deep hole to dig out of. When all they had to do was wait a couple of weeks, say, hey, we've got another candidate here. By the way, he was a guy that helped us, vet some candidates. We interviewed him. We liked him. There was a way they could have done this incredibly easy. Instead, they make it look as optically horrible as you could possibly do. And so it's really put him behind the 8 ball. And I'm still not 100% sure he can fight through that. We'll see if that happens. But it is one of the most optically awful things. We're talking about Ole Miss here, who's done some of the most optically terrible things. And it's, how many ever years of existence. This was one of the worst I've ever seen.
The, Matt Corral was fine, I guess, on Saturday. But I don't really understand the purpose of playing him right now. Do you expect that, is this the plan going forward? Are we going to see basically a 2-quarterback system?
Yes, I think we are. And Matt Luke said that yesterday at the press conference. We will see a 2-quarterback system. And, I kind of disagree a little bit with you. I think Matt Corral has really done well in this role. I think the only way a 2-quarterback system will work is if both guys are on the same page and they get along, so to speak. And even late in the game, when the game was already at hand, Plumlee ran for a 30-some-odd yard touchdown. Corral was the first guy out there to give him a high five. So either he's doing a great job of faking it or they're making it work. And the joke going around is that if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. Well, in this case, I think that's not necessarily the case. I think they complement each other very well, and I think they get along great. I think the offensive line is doing much better. They still don't have anyone really stepping up at wide receiver other than Elijah Moore, which is a big-time problem. But Plumlee, to me, is more of a wildcat / running back. I mean, he's not your prototypical quarterback.
No, he's not.
When Matt Corral comes in, he's got a little element of the run, but they know he's going to throw the football. And when Missouri late in the game was putting 8 or 9 in the box, Ole Miss was down a couple of touchdowns. They needed to score quickly, and that's when Corral came in. And I think they complemented each other pretty well. We'll be interested to see this Saturday against Texas A&M how Jimbo defensively schemes these two, because they're both going to play. And we haven't talked about this yet, but if you're going to deem a team a success by making it to a bowl game, this is yet another must-win for Ole Miss this Saturday, because it's not going to beat Auburn. It's not going to beat LSU.
Right.
It will beat Southeast Missouri State, and then that gives them a chance to make a bowl game against a Mississippi State team we'll talk about in a little bit that's reeling. And if Ole Miss can't beat Mississippi State in Starkville, it could go to a bowl game, and what would be one of the biggest turnarounds in Ole Miss football history if they were to make a bowl game this year.
Yeah, I was going to make that point about the game against Texas A&M, because you're absolutely right. You have to beat A&M, and it's not going to be easy. You should be able to take care of New Mexico State, and then it comes down to the Egg Bowl, because you're not beating Auburn on the road. You're not beating them at home if you played them, but you're not beating them on the road, and then LSU. So but at least they put themselves in a position. But I think they put themselves in a position because this John Rice Plumlee is electric. I think you make a great point, and it's a point that I think most people understand, that Matt Corral has the arm, Rice Plumlee has the legs. Why not try to mix the two? But Eli made a good point yesterday, and you could probably answer this. It seemed to me like Corral, you don't want to give up on the guy, obviously, but Rice Plumlee has been a breath of fresh air, that they want to make sure he gets some action so he doesn't enter that thing we don't like to talk about too much, called that transfer portal.
Yeah. And we thought after the Vanderbilt game, when John Rice Plumlee played the entire game, we were wondering, wait, is this dude fixing to leave and go to the transfer portal because he didn't play a drop?
Right.
And so credit Matt Luke and credit Rich Rod for coming out against Missouri. And not only were they interchanging quarterbacks, they were doing so in the series. So they were just running both those guys in and out, which if you flip to the other side, the Mississippi State, Joe Moorhead is completely blundled. I don't know if that's a word.
It is
he
today.
Is completely gumbled. Whatever the bad part is, he's done that with his quarterback room. Because now you got a quarterback in Keaton Thompson that, he's going to enter the portal, he comes out. You bring in this new dude from graduate transfer from Penn State who just hasn't worked, and all the while you got the bearded dude on the sideline that needed to be playing quarterback all along. They're 3-3. It should be 5-1, and it's all because of Moorhead made terrible calls at quarterback. So right the opposite is happening in Oxford. I think Matt Luke has done a terrific job at quarterback, manufacturing offense with both those players, keeping them pretty tame. It appears they get along pretty well, and they complement each other very well. And if you look at this Ole Miss schedule, the only game they'd really like to have back, and I don't know that they could beat Memphis, but I'd like to see them have a chance to play Memphis again with the two-quarterback system. Other than that, the season, in my opinion, has gone to script. I thought Cal was better. I thought Missouri was better. And, Memphis may have been better, but I would like to have seen them see those two teams play again. But other than that, I think this game has gone to script, and if they can pick one up against Texas A&M and they beat a Mississippi State team that I don't know that we'll talk with them in a minute. Like I said, I don't know that they can get back to 6. That would be a heck of a season for Matt Luke and his coaching staff.
With Mississippi State, what do you expect out of that quarterback situation going forward?
Well, Garrett Schrader is going to be the starter, we're told. Moorhead met with the media yesterday, and that's what he said. But I think he may have taken on too much water, if that makes any sense. I don't know that you can get the fans back at this point. I don't know that there's an opportunity to get to 6 wins looking at the schedule now. Joe Moorhead, in his time in Starkville, is 1-5 in SEC road games. He's got at Texas A&M and at Arkansas. He's going to have to win one of those two to get to a bowl game, because they're not beating LSU this weekend. They're not beating Alabama at home. And then they've got Abilene Christian. If they somehow find a way to lose at Texas A&M and at Arkansas, which is very feasible, Alabama's going to boat race them in Starkville. There won't be 25,000 there for Abilene Christian. So that lends them the question is, if they're 5-6 going into the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss is 5-6. They've limped in the Egg Bowl, and Ole Miss is pretty much, ran as hard as they could to get there. Two totally separate situations. He may be coaching for his job against Ole Miss. Now, everybody I've talked to, both that covers the program and the inside the program, says there's no way that Mississippi State makes a move with Joe Moorhead. If they lose out, with the exception of Abilene Christian, I can't imagine the pressure is any higher than it is. He took a team last year that came in with the number one defense in the country and only won 5 games. In fact, out of the 8 games that he won, out of the 5 games that he lost, the defense only gave up more than a touchdown once.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty much the offense was stagnant last year under Moorhead, and that 8-5 season was one of the best defenses in the country. Now it's catapulted onto this year to where he goes to Knoxville this past Saturday and loses to one of the worst teams in the SEC, and it kind of snowballed from there. If LSU, here's the deal, I'm not really looking to see how, what the score is or how anybody plays. I'm interested to see if the game is competitive at all. If it's 62-5, 62-3, or if it's 31-28, or if it's 42-28. Tell me how Mississippi State plays. Let me see what their effort is, and I'll tell you what happens the next 2 weeks against A&M and Arkansas.
Well, I never would have thought that the Egg Bowl could determine 6 wins for either Mississippi State or Ole Miss, because I would have thought that Mississippi State would have no issues getting the 6 this year, and then maybe Ole Miss would be playing in the Egg Bowl to get the 6, because I also had Ole Miss getting to a bowl game this year. But it could come down to the Egg Bowl to determine who gets the 6 and who stays home, which is crazy. But the Joe Moorhead situation, there were rumors out there that I heard the other day, and I just laughed at these rumors. Oh, Rutgers is open. Joe Moorhead's going to leave Mississippi State because he knows the writing's on the wall, and he's going to take the Rutgers job. Come on. I mean, give the guy a break. Now, with that said, he's 5-8 versus Power 5 schools. They got to figure this thing out. And as you said, Brad, to start this thing off about their quarterback situation, it's a fiasco. He put all his chips on the table with Tommy Stevens. It has not worked out. Now they got Schrader in there. They had Keaton Thompson to begin the season, and then he went in the portal because he was losing the job to Stevens. Who knows? Maybe he would have been the best quarterback out of all of them. But their offense is non-existent. And when Tennessee can shut down Kylan Hill the way they did, where's your offense coming from?
Yeah, they're 3-3, and I firmly believe, and this is hindsight 2020, but I wrote this for the Clarion Ledger at the beginning of the year. Is there going to be problems inside the locker room with a graduate transfer to come in and basically be the starter when a Keaton Thompson spent 3 years in the program under Nick Fitzgerald, and he's ready to slide in? And, oh, by the way, you've got a freshman in Garrett Schrader that can help if needed. I firmly believe had he just left Tommy Stevens alone, come in, take the team that he had from last year, turn around and give the ball to Kylan Hill, utilize Osiris Mitchell and Stephen Guidry receiver when necessary, and then spell Keaton Thompson with Garrett Schrader, I think this team is 5-1. I think they beat Kansas State, and I think they beat Tennessee. And here we are, 5-1, a top 15 ranked Mississippi State team. Now it'd be a bit of a poor top 15 team, and I don't think it'd be worthy. That doesn't matter.
Right.
You've got a top 15 ranked team, 5-1, hosting an undefeated LSU. It's on CBS, and everybody's excited. Game day's there, whatever. Now it's not like that, and I think it's simply the decisions made by Joe Moorhead at quarterback that have led Mississippi State to where they are at this point in the season. And like I said, with the schedule like it is down the stretch, at 3-3, I don't see 3 more wins for Mississippi State unless it can win either at A&M or at Arkansas. And, by that time, Arkansas, who knows who they'll be, they're getting better every week. Again, the record doesn't indicate that. They played well enough to beat Kentucky, obviously. Now they've got an Auburn team coming in. They're not going to beat Auburn, probably. I say they're not going to. We saw what happened with Carolina and Georgia, so I never say, I'm never definite about these underdogs anymore. But if Arkansas can beat a Mississippi State, that may save Chad Morris. I don't know that it'd save his job. I don't know that he's got his job on the line, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But his seat is really, really hot right now. So they're going to have that game circled. That may be his first chance to get the SEC game, similar like we talked about with Ole Miss. I think Arkansas was looking at that game. I think Chad Morris is probably looking at that one thinking, that may be our best shot for the rest of the year to get an SEC win.
Well, I think your point's well taken about Mississippi State going to Arkansas, because before the season started, we penciled it all in as an easy W, and now it may not be the case with the way State is struggling. He's Brad Logan, reporter columnist for the Jackson Clarion Ledger, SaturdayDownSouth.com. Doing some TV work down in Jackson as well. He's been a very busy man. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan, COTE. Always great stuff, Brad. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Craig and Eli.
Take care. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. It's a simple call away. Call my friend Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Locally owned and operated, started this company from scratch. They offer financing, many different plans and options, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They will work with your insurance company, or they will work out of pocket, whatever it takes. They are part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. And they do both residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on all roofs. And all their work is always guaranteed. Satisfaction guaranteed. That means work around the home, carpentry work, exterior painting. You need shingles installed. You need gutters replaced, fencing, siding, rotten wood repair. They do it all. Your one-stop shop for all your home repair needs. If you can take care of it yourself, great. If not, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. And don't forget the $100 referral fee for all new roofs. You can make $100 by referring somebody to Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. If they use the company, Pinnacle is going to give you $100 for that referral. For all your roofing and home repair needs, call Brandon McCullough at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Again, locally owned and operated, 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com.
We do not have a correct answer yet for the Humdingers trivia question. To get a $25 gift card to Humdingers for the person who gets it correct first. Kyle Allen, now 5-0 as a starting quarterback in the NFL to start his career. Which quarterback holds the record for the most consecutive regular season wins to start their career? So most wins before a loss as a starting quarterback in NFL history. I'll tell you, Kyle Allen is not real close to getting there yet.
Okay.
67129, 67129. Text your answer in. The first to get it right gets a $25 gift card to Humdingers. The quarterback who won the most games to start their career, regular season only, that could be a little bit of a hint. Regular season games only, the most wins before suffering their first loss as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Steve Macy will join us from the University of Memphis. There is some Grizzlies/Hustle news. The Grizzlies have waived Dusty Hannas, who will be with the Hustle this season. But they've also signed point guard Ahmad Caver to an Exhibit 10 contract. Caver played at Old Dominion, was first-team All-Conference USA last year, averaging 16.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Do you know how many Exhibit 10 contracts they can have?
I believe it is 4.
There's 4. So that would be, Dusty would have one as well, right? So Dusty,
Mooney, Dusty,
and now Caver. There you go. So room for one more, possibly you, man. Come out of the broadcast booth. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sports Time with Rollo and Stacks. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If it's time for a new gun, rifle, or silencer, Tactical Guns and Gear in Collierville on Highway 72 is the best place to go. I promise they have the newest, most exciting selection of guns and silencers you could ever want. I don't care if you shoot for fun, hunt, or just need a gun for personal protection, Tactical Guns and Gear has the best selection of firearms around. The only one-stop silencer shop in Tennessee. In less than 10 minutes, they do all the paperwork. Take your photo, originate gun trust, take your prints electronically, and the best part, you never have to scan them again. Yes, silencers are legal. No special licensing, just a simple background check. Silencers don't make your firearms silent. They simply reduce noise for more enjoyable shooting. Help protect against hearing loss. Reduce recoil. It makes you more accurate. Best silencer place in the entire state of Tennessee, right here in Collierville. For all things guns and gear, ask for Jake or Jim at Tactical Guns and Gear on Highway 72 and tell them Eli says hi. Online at tacticalgunsandgear.com.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
One of the things you can expect from a great diner is great milkshakes, and Third and Court delivers. Like everything else they do, Third and Court takes the classic concept and makes it something new and special. The Elvis has vanilla ice cream, Reese's Cups, banana, and candied bacon. That's right, candied bacon. The King has strawberry ice cream, seasoned berries, mint, and lime. The Triple Double Malt has chocolate ice cream, Whoppers, Ovaltine, and cherry syrup. And if you want to make them really special, for just a little bit more, you can add bourbon or rum. Third and Court, a great diner.
Do you need a Bobcat loader or excavator for breaking concrete or landscaping? Williams Equipment and Supply is the largest equipment dealer and rental house in the Mid-South. Experience the pride Bobcat owners have in running the #1 brand of compact equipment. Let Williams Equipment put you in the seat of a new Bobcat loader or excavator today.
This is Sam Watson, your Memphis area Bobcat specialist. Call me at 901-326-6429 and let me help you get the equipment you need to get the job done.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Let's do it.
We talk University of Memphis athletics each week with our friend Steve Macy, University of Memphis Senior Associate AD. You could follow him on Twitter at Steve Macy. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon or good morning. How are you guys?
Doing great. Hope you're doing well. A little cosmetic surgery took place yesterday on the redesigned Memphis basketball home court. Talk about the reasoning and the result of now the new look for the basketball court.
Well, it was a planned deal because we had the Toyota logos as part of their agreement with Tiger Sports Properties. They have 2 logos that go on the court. They were not ready to go with that whole deal when the floor was originally painted, so we were planning on going back out to paint. And then when we kind of saw the entire court as it was, didn't like that the gray didn't come out in the 3-point circle. So we went ahead and had them do 2 things, which was the Toyota logos getting painted on permanently, and then the gray being done. And then the sophomoric conversation about everything else decided instead of having a distraction, let's go ahead and fix that as well. I mean, there's a certain point in time you just go, whatever, I give up. That's what people are worried about. We'll go ahead and do this. The good thing is we were in a position to be able to do it, kind of eliminate that from a distraction or a conversation because we were already working on some things. I think I was most disappointed that the gray didn't come out and it really looked brown in the 3-point area, because the look is going to be amazing once it's all done. So we're excited about having that completely finished and ready to go.
Now, so you're talking about where's the gray? Because I don't remember. I didn't see any. So I guess it didn't come out because I didn't even notice there was any gray. So the inside the 3-point line is going to be gray?
Yeah. So you know where the blue is most of the court, and then inside the 3-point line, the blue it's called a blue stain. And we were going with a gray stain, and it just didn't hold up. It kept absorbing it. And so what we saw when it was done at the convention, at the Cook Convention Center this summer versus what came back and what we saw at Memphis Madness, it had absorbed and kind of disappeared. So it's funny, in pictures, the gray came through. When you saw it in person, it looked brown or the natural wood color. So we're excited to get that gray fixed, and we had staff over there looking at it this morning to get it done, just to decide exactly on how many more coats to put on. So I think we're good.
Because I'm now looking at my picture. I thought that the inside 3-point line was just supposed to be the natural wood, like like a normal floor would be.
No, it was supposed to be gray and going all with the blue and the gray motif with the logo and everything to match the blue and the gray, and then the accent color of the light blue, which is a university accent color.
So you guys would have changed it even without the, as you called it, sophomoric responses to the court?
Yeah. No, all of that. We were doing something between Madness and the start of the season, regardless. But that kind of, we decided to go ahead, since we were doing the gray, to go ahead and sand off the light blue at the top of the key and just make it match up with inside the 3-point circle. So there'll be a stark difference to what you guys saw at Madness, just because the gray just really didn't come out the way we wanted it to, and so we're fixing that.
What was, other than some of that stuff, the sophomoric stuff, what was the overall reaction though? Because I mean, this is a pretty drastic change to a court. I mean, when you start coloring the entire court and things like that, what was the reaction you guys got from Tiger fans?
I think it was pretty positive. I mean, look, you're going to have some folks that would prefer just to be traditional and have the lane colored, one color, the logo in the middle, and that be the extent of it. Then you've got Oregon and whatever it is they have on their court at the other end, or Colorado State, where you're just distracted. And we really relied on the team to say, hey, what do you guys want? And the team wanted to have something that was really cool and different. And from a recruiting standpoint, they wanted something that was unique, that could be theirs. And I don't know if you guys read the article, but there was a massive number of variations that were shown to coach and allowed to kind of pick and choose the things he liked. And this was kind of settled on a few different options and got to the point where this was the look that they wanted to have. Now, obviously the gray piece coming through, but the reaction I think has been positive. And you guys have probably heard some people that didn't like it, and there's going to be that. Whenever you go non-traditional, you're going to have people that don't like something. But I think it's a very unique look, and it's something that the court company themselves have gotten amazing response from other schools saying, all right, we didn't even know this was possible. Start signing us up, and our friends at Sports Floors, I think they owe us, because we're going to make them a lot of money with people wanting new designs on their court and getting a little bit out there in terms of having something unique and cool for your own brand.
Steve, got a text question for you. Are single game basketball tickets on sale yet?
They're not. They're going up. I think a press release is going out either today or tomorrow to announce exactly when that's going to happen. There will be an opportunity for season ticket holders and Tiger Sports property members and Tiger Scholarship Fund folks to buy early, and then they'll go on to the general public. I think the first sale date to the general public is either at the end of next week or right around then. But that release is going out here shortly.
The football, a tough loss, a controversial loss, I guess, in Temple. But coming back home now for their only home game the month of October, rather. And I know you guys probably want to encourage folks, despite the loss, to come out and support the team, and that there's still plenty to play for this year.
Well, no, I think all of we kind of went through this a little bit last year, Eli. If you remember, hey, all is lost, but hey, everything is still out in front of us. I kind of took it as a little bit different, and I think the president tweeted out right away, it's Memphis versus everybody, and that's not intended to have a message to any one person or not, or any one entity or not, but I think that's true. I think we as a community, this is our opportunity to kind of button it down to say, hey, this is us versus everybody. And I'm encouraged by the reaction we've gotten to that so far, is that people are like, heck yeah, it is. Let's go. Let's show everybody. Let's show the nation what Memphis is like, and let's get on board, and let's get everybody into the stadium. Let's pack this place and show the world that it's Memphis versus everybody. And this is going to be the best home field advantage that we can possibly make it. And we're talking about making it the best in the country, and I like that. That's shooting for something big. and we should be a little bit have a chip on our shoulder as a community. And I know the team does, and I think by having a huge crowd, that kind of shows it. And being ridiculously loud and making it very difficult on the visiting team is a great thing for us to have our reaction back to kind of how things ended up last week.
Not that anything can be done about it, but was there any more inquiries made to the conference for more clarification of everything that ended up going down on the controversial change of the call that was made on the field on the Magnifico catch or no catch?
Greg, I'm not aware of exactly what's gone on or what's not gone on. I know that there is a formal process that is in place each week for calls to be questioned, for the supervisor of football officials to respond back on different plays during the game of clarification and or response. And I would I'd be surprised if that call was not one of those inquiries that went in. So yeah, I would anticipate that that's happened. I do not know if we received any sort of response that was outside of what Commissioner Resco said publicly.
All right. Well, Steve,
that's about as vanilla as I can give you an answer and be within the lines. Was that within bounds? Did you like that one?
Look, I don't even know why I asked the question because I knew I was going to get some political response. But no, you did a good job. You did a good job.
Charlie Brown's
I thought
teacher to me.
I thought it was pretty well done. I liked it.
He's throwing his name into the ring for the presidential.
I mean, that is.
That was good.
All right.
It's not like,
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I won't.
Hey, look.
I won't say anything.
You know what it was?
I won't make any sophomoric humor.
It was bogus. That's what it was. It should have never been reversed. They didn't have enough information, but that's me. Steve, listen, we appreciate it as always. You have yourself a great week. We'll see you on Saturday night.
Hey, community-wide, this is our opportunity to have a response back to last week, and how we respond all together, I think says volumes about the university, this city, and our love for this football program and where we think it is and kind of what happened last week. We have an opportunity to respond, and I can't think of a better way than to say this is the best home field environment that the Americans ever seen, and that's kind of the challenge, and that's what I'd love to see. Let's channel our anger into a way that's positive and to show our support and what we are as a community.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Well said. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care. Okay. There's not a lot of people. Some people have come up to me and said, I don't think they can still reach those goals that we talked about yesterday. And I tried to explain them how it could still happen. You now need help, and you have to take care of your business. But it is not.
You can't have another loss.
You can't have another loss, but it is not over for them to obviously win the conference and to represent the group of five in that New Year's Six game. It's still possible, but again, they're going to need a lot of help.
All right, we're still looking for a correct answer to the Humdingers trivia question. And I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to tell you this. Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott both lost their first career starts. They didn't even make it to 1-0. So they are definitely not the right answer.
Any other hint?
I will say that the quarterback who holds the record is still active in the NFL.
Okay.
So it's which quarterback won the most games consecutively to start their career before suffering their first loss? Kyle Allen is at 5-0. He has still got a little ways to go to get there.
Oh, he's 5-0?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which quarterback has the mark for the most wins to start their career before suffering their first loss? Regular season games only. Postseason doesn't count here. The quarterback who holds the mark is still active in the NFL. And again, it's not Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson. They both lost their first starts.
And again, you got to do this via text, 67129. So is Bridgewater 4-0 since replacing Breeze? And again, it has nothing to do with the question or anything like that because he's been a starter before. But because they said Bridgewater.
Kyle Allen had a start last year that he won.
Oh, okay. But
he's
this
5-0
year
as a starting quarterback.
Gotcha. But this year he's 4-0 after replacing. That's what I thought. That's what I said after replacing Cam Newton. The SEC preseason men's basketball media poll has been released. Again, the media poll, the coaches poll, is what they used at the American Conference Media Day yesterday. Here's the predicted order of finish for men's basketball. Again, according to the media, you'll be shocked. Kentucky is picked to win it. Number 2, Florida. Number 3, LSU. Number 4, Auburn. Tennessee picked 5th. They lost an awful lot from that team, but they are picked 5th. Then Alabama, Mississippi State, Ole Miss is at 8. Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Missouri, and they picked Vanderbilt dead last. So it could be a banner year for Vanderbilt, starting out with football right now and continuing with basketball after the season they had last year with basketball.
It's rough times over in Nashville.
Their preseason all-SEC teams, interesting, they have 5 on the first team, and then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the second team, so I'd imagine there were some ties. Kenny Blackshear of Florida, Anthony Edwards, who's the freshman for Georgia, and Memphis will meet Georgia, Ashton Higgins from Kentucky, Reggie Perry from Mississippi State, and Breon Tyree from Ole Miss. And as I mentioned, there are 7 on the second team, including the Vols' Lamonte Turner.
Someday I need somebody from the SEC to explain to me why an all-conference team is 7 players. I don't know why. Why don't they put 15 guys on their all-conference football team? Like, if you're just going to throw 7 guys out there for basketball, why does football only stop at 1 per position?
All right, when we come back, LeBron James and what he had to say yesterday, which, again, we don't get – Eli and I don't get into it with the politics too much here, but we got to bring this up. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, what he said yesterday. And if you want to comment, you certainly can. We'll have open lines available, as we do have an open segment coming up next. First Bank phone lines 360-8255. First Bank text line 67129. Message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
All right, we do have a correct answer now. Actually, all right, Austin, I'm going to put this on you, because 2 texts came in at the exact same time with the correct answer. Now, one of them I could penalize him because he actually he said what the record was, which is incorrect, but it doesn't matter. He got the name right. So, the correct answer is Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger won his first 15 career regular season games as a starter. He was 15-0 as a regular season starter to start his career, which is pretty damn impressive when you think about that.
Yes, it is.
Did lose a playoff game in there, but he was because it was over 2 seasons. But he went 15-0 as a starting quarterback to start his career in the regular season. So there are 2 folks. Austin, you pick 1 or 2. I've got 1 labeled 1, 1 labeled 2. You pick 1 or 2.
Oh, let's go with. The record is wrong. I don't know if should I count that against.
Well, you don't even know which one I got.
Just
1 and which one I got 2.
All right, that's fine. That's right. You're right. You know what? I'm just going to say 1. I said 2 last time. I think I'm going to go 1.
Okay. All right. That is the one that has the record on it. So just so you know, so you can notify that person.
Okay.
There you go. Congratulations. We will take a break. When we come back again, LeBron James and his controversial remarks about Daryl Morey. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today. For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the press box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag Equipment can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, these tractors can tackle every chore on your to-do list. Call 662-890-3141 or stop in today to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
So now we got a couple of folks who have texted in saying they texted Ben Roethlisberger earlier. I can only go by what I see. We did not get those. They did not come in. So
did you hit send?
I don't know whether if you may have texted it, but maybe something happened. We did not receive it. But the first 2 Ben texts we got came in just a little bit ago, and I did not see anything before those that had Big Ben. So a lot of Dak.
I can also verify that because I did not see those Big Ben texts.
Can we go to the replay official?
There is no replay official on this one.
Did Ben touch the ground?
I am the replay official. I'm verified.
Did Ben touch the ground?
There is no in-house Jumbotron video that we can look at as a different angle. Sorry, but the one who did win has been notified.
We did get a text. Somebody listening to the show said, do NFL officials get fined for blowing calls like they did last night? NFL officials, I think, can be fined, right? They can be suspended.
They can be fined and suspended, I believe, by the league. Now, the league does not make that public.
Right.
Normally, that is all done in-house. But I do believe they have a fine system and suspensions and things that they do apparently reprimand their officials for bad calls, and I do believe fines are part of that system. But we never hear about them. They keep that all very private because they want to continue to protect officials.
And they'll also, for bad officials, or those that have repeat offenses on bad calls, they will be limited on their postseason work. They may not be able to work the playoffs. They won't be able in line to possibly work the Super Bowl.
All right, a couple of other texts here on the Cowboys conversation we had. Dallas was also missing Randall Cobb. The defensive line needs the pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Lawrence has been a disappointment this year. DeMarcus Lawrence has been a bit of a disappointment.
He lost to the Jets.
But Randall Cobb out, by the way, this week opened up the door. Cedric Wilson from Memphis had a few catches in that game, was a big part of the offense because he was the guy who replaced Randall Cobb.
Little sad, his son.
Somebody says Dak is mediocre and is the problem. Anyone who says otherwise isn't watching the Cowboys. John says if you want your team to win, let them play my Chargers. The Chargers have been I don't know what's going on there either.
I know they lost or they had beaten mediocre teams the first 3 weeks, but the Jets aren't even mediocre. The Jets were winless. That's a bad football team. A guy just came off the deathbed with mononucleosis.
Well, yeah, but the Jets are not real good, but they're a much different team. The winless thing, with Luke Falk, they wouldn't win a game in a million years.
No.
There's a reason they cut him. He went from starting quarterback
I understand.
to cut. They're a much different team with Sam Darnold. So let's not act like they're horrendous like they were with Luke Falk with Sam Darnold.
I know. They're still the Jets. The Cowboys, even when they're having issues, shouldn't lose to the Jets. All right. LeBron James yesterday really stirred the pot up. And I don't know if he thought there was going to be the reaction there has been, but he needs to think before he speaks. LeBron James believes Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey wasn't educated before he sent the tweet in support of anti-government protesters in Hong Kong that damaged relations between China and the NBA. Speaking to the media for the first time since Maury's tweet on October 4th set off a firestorm, James declined to comment about the politically tense situation between China and the NBA, but did talk about Maury's tweet and how it has jeopardized the relationship between China and the league, owners, teams, and players. I don't want to get into a verbal feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke. This is James before the Lakers played the Warriors in a preseason game at Staples last night after the return from their trip to China. And so many people could have been harmed, not only financially, ding, 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 physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and say and we do, even though, yes, we do have the freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too. All I want to say and move on is this is about as hypocritical a statement that I've ever heard. And who believes, obviously, in free speech, he just said that, and to criticize Morey for making his opinion known, which, by the way, is the more popular opinion because everybody else who disagrees looks like they're money-grubbing and money-grabbing people who don't care about human rights, that they just care about the almighty dollar. And that's the relationship that the NBA, a precarious situation and a precarious relationship that the NBA has with China. So LeBron James would have been best to just stay quiet on the subject, even though, again, it's his prerogative, it's his right. But that opinion is not, I don't think a lot of people agree with that opinion. And it has certainly caused a firestorm, even more than Morey's tweet, because LeBron James is a bigger name, much bigger name than Daryl Morey.
Well, this whole situation is the it puts all of these guys in such a precarious situation on what to say and what you can't say, especially a guy like LeBron, who not only just plays in the NBA, but has many other business ventures that he needs to make sure are open. The Chinese market is open to.
Right.
So he is in a really bad spot here. He would be much better off saying nothing. But this is the problem these guys face. And people always want these guys to speak out about injustices here in our country when they happen, and that's great. They have a platform, and it could be very helpful at times. But then if you're going to do that, then when there's something else that comes up that could really affect your pocketbook, you got to be willing to, if you're going to speak out about one thing, why are you not speaking out about another? And that's
the hypocrisy.
They get into these bad situations. That's why some guys, I think probably why Michael Jordan for his career understood, like, I'm better off just never getting involved in any of this stuff.
And then those people,
because then I never have to have the one where they say, well, let's hear your thoughts on this one. I've never given you my thoughts on any of them, so leave me out of this.
Yeah, but even those people get in trouble because they don't say anything, and they're like, well, you're a figure, you're a public figure, you need to say something. No, you don't have to do that. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. And you're right. He stayed away from the controversy. LeBron James picks and chooses. Other people pick and choose. You can't, again, like you said, argue for human rights and everything in this country and then put the kibosh on it in another country. Like, why is it not good for the people over there? Oh, that's right. You have business dealings with China.
Somebody texts says LeBron James and Nike are not worried about Chinese human rights, just money. Don't mess with their money.
Don't mess with their
Chinese
money.
make $1 an hour making Nike shoes. Well, yeah, LeBron's into movie making and everything. I mean, LeBron is going to be. He wants to keep the Chinese market open to him and his businesses for sure. Raider Corey says LeBron was uninformed. My business course, legal environment in college, taught me never comment or speak on a topic you're not prepared to speak intelligently. He needs to scale it back a little on the political front. Just my opinion. So yeah, listen. They're better off. He would have been better off just saying no comment, and he'll still take abuse. Or people are going to get mad because they're going to say, "Wait a second, like you have no problem speaking about our country. What about this?" But they're in a no-win situation here because unless they just want to take the hit to the pocketbook, and I guarantee you, the NBA is already telling them, "Do not screw this up anymore."
And he's destroying a guy who spoke out about human rights. Not in this country, but in another country, that obviously goes counterproductive to the NBA and the global market with China. And he's basically saying he's uninformed, uneducated. He didn't really know what he was saying. But that's what he's basically saying. Daryl Morey knew exactly what he was saying. And it just so happens that he is not looking at the almighty dollar and the bottom line. He's looking at human rights and human suffrage. We will take a break. When we come back, Don Wade will join us in studio for the dish. We got 2.5 questions to get to as well. Hour 3 coming up. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Your Memphis Tigers football team is back in action on Saturday, October 19th against AAC foe Tulane. This is a big game in the race for AAC dominance, and a loud and proud Memphis home crowd is necessary. Single game tickets start at just $20 and are available today at GoTigersGo.com. Come out and see one of the nation's most exciting teams. Memphis versus Tulane on Saturday, October 19th at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee.
Stripe up. Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today. Shop our aggressive lease and finance options now. Luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Shoot for free at the newest and largest gun range in the Mid-South. Join Sports 56 Middays this Friday on the road at Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road, formerly Range USA in Bartlett. Pick up a free range pass and win a pair of Memphis vs. Tulane tickets. Top Gun, the largest indoor range in the Mid-South with over 22,000 square feet of fun and great barbecue at Ferguson's Barbecue. Carry permit classes from $75. Unlimited memberships as low as $29 a month. Top Gun, the only range in town where you can rent fully automatic weapons and shoot them on site. That's this Friday at Top Gun in Bartlett. Come shoot with us.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week, Gabe fills in for me as him and John are joined in studio by Memphis Tiger great Lucky Lloyd Patterson, along with some surprise special guest callers.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays, presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
High noon on this Tuesday. Welcome back to Sports 56 Middays. Final hour for us today. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays is our title and presenting sponsor. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to learn how FedEx can help your business thrive online. It's Tuesday. It's time for Don Wade from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at DWadeMEM. How are you, man?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing great. Doing great. So have you had a chance, I don't know if you watched the game or have seen any of the replay or seen any of the photos or videos on social media of the controversial Tigers play on Sunday?
There was a controversy? I haven't heard about it, no.
Have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Were you watching the game?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not watching the game. Look, I think we've got replay issues in college football and the NFL. That's baseball too, for that matter. But that need to be addressed. I think had the call gone the other way, you would have Temple fans as outraged as Memphis fans have been. So I don't know. I'm kind of tired of that whole conversation. I will say this. Anytime you turn it over that many times, you get what you deserve. It's just like my rooting interest was the Chiefs, and a defensive lineman was offsides on a play that could have sealed a trip to the Super Bowl. A lot of other things happen, but when you're offsides on that play, you get what you deserve. When you turn the ball over like they did against Temple, you get what you deserve. So, okay, you're outraged for a minute there. If you don't get past it, then it just ripples and it just goes on and on. There just comes a point where that's what happens in sport. You pick any sport, it's leaving runners on base in baseball, in the early innings, comes back and bites you in the end, right? You have a big lead in an NBA game or a college basketball game, and your offense goes a little cold, and you get beaten by a quote-unquote lucky shot at the buzzer. Well, these things aren't accidents. It's what happens when you don't take care of business. You leave the door open, and a questionable call can take you down. That's just how it works.
Well, look, I hear what you're saying, and there's truth to that. But teams that play bad games still win games. It's not automatic because you struggle early on in a game like they did, and they were pathetic in the first half, that it doesn't mean you can't win a football game. And I know, as Mike Norvell said, and he's right, you can look back at 30 plays each game and go, well, if we did this, we did that. Temple could do that as well. Every team, every sport, everybody can say that. But when it came down to it, they had a chance to possibly win that football game as poorly as they played. And there was a reversal on a call where there was not indisputable evidence. There's no question in my mind. I'm still not sure it hit the ground. And
I think it hit the ground. The nose of the football touched the ground.
Are you 100% his arm wasn't under that ball? And wasn't indisputable.
Would you have would you reverse the call based on that?
Well, from what I've heard, there seems to be some confusion over what the replay official thought was the original call. So that opens up the whole question. Do you have to have the indisputable evidence, or did you think they called it the other way? Right? There's been some confusion.
No, they had to know.
I don't know. I've not seen anything.
The bottom line,
I know people were a little confused by Mike Oresco's statement, but that was just misreading.
It's Tuesday. That happened on Saturday. It's like, I'm sorry, but you have to move on.
No, I know, Don, but how about if it comes down to where
Greg's not going to move on? Clearly, Greg is not going to move on. I could tell on Twitter from the moment it happened, Greg was going to be entrenched on this just like when we talk about Hall of Fame voting and steroids. He was going to be immovable.
Well, look, they have a lot of obstacles still to overcome. They got to play a tough Tulane team. They got to play SMU. They got to play Cincinnati. But how about if they do run the table and win the conference championship, and then Boise gets into the Cotton Bowl and Memphis ends up in Frisco or wherever?
Hey, Frisco's beautiful.
It's beautiful this time of year. Because they never got that opportunity back in that Temple game where they possibly could have kicked the field goal or scored a touchdown to win the game. Because
everybody's assuming the field goal is good.
No.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
And that's what I said. So maybe he misses the field goal. Maybe he makes the field. Maybe they score a touchdown.
Maybe they turn it over on the next play.
Maybe they turn it over.
Exactly.
Maybe Temple scores.
There was precedent for that,
right? There was no guarantees that they were going to win the football game. But what was guaranteed by their decision was that Memphis was not going to have a chance. And they said it was indisputable. And I use that word because that's the word they use. And there was no chance in hell that there was enough there that was indisputable. You said it, Eli. Everybody has said it. If Don doesn't, he'd be the first one I've heard that said
I've heard other people say what I've said is that, it looked like it touched the ground. Now it's the whole, indisputable and all of that and what's a catch and all of that. And that's fine. But look, you look at what happened in the NFL this week. I was actually watching the end of the Cowboys game. I'm guessing you were, Eli. Mm-hmm. And it was a flag fest.
Oh, it's six straight plays.
There were, including 4 pass interference calls, if I'm not mistaken.
But they're in the NFL anymore. It seems like an illegal contact, holding, or pass interference. It feels like in every pass play.
Right. But it's a really tough situation because, like, what happens in the Chiefs games, I will tell you, is unless you call something, they will try to throw Travis Kelce to the ground coming off the line every single time because he's always an impossible matchup, right? So the idea is you throw him to the ground so many times and he doesn't bust a big play on you. Or if you get a Tyreek Hill running down the field, well, you take, if you're going to take a penalty at the 30, that's better than him, hitting a home run, right? And a touchdown. So it's a real problem. And I think that the officials are clearly at a point where they don't know what to do. Like they're afraid to not call something. They're afraid to call something. And then you get into these replays that are not always conclusive. And then you've got what happened in the Saints-Rams NFC Championship game kind of hanging over there as the black cloud is, okay, that was a call that, did cost somebody a trip to the Super Bowl. There's a lot to be fixed.
Well, that's what the funny thing for the NFL, and to me, the NFL officiating has gotten really bad. But this is what the problem is. This is the same thing I say about the NBA. These are the best. Like, these are the best guys out there who want to do this job. There's not like some secret stash of great officials that are like we just haven't tapped into yet. Like, this is it. These are the best of the best. But for the NFL officials, I do feel bad one way. Like, you got to call this. You got to call this. Like, you can't, the missed pass interferences, all this stuff. And now it seems the whole thing this year has been like, wow, there's way too many penalties in the NFL. And they're kind of in this like, do you want us to throw the flag every time for this stuff? Or do you not want us to throw the flag? Because if we throw it, you get mad that we're throwing too many. If we don't throw it, you're mad because we're not throwing the penalty, throwing the flag. I get some of their frustration. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, tell me what you want. You guys all, like, everybody seems like everybody wants the perfect happy medium of call just the right amount of penalties that are actually committed in a game. And how is the official supposed to determine that?
Well, and it's tough too because you don't have, the officials are not at the same level as the people that they're officiating. This is a personal example, which I don't like to give, but I think it actually works. When I was playing racquetball tournaments and playing open singles all the time in my younger days, racquetball is a very hard game to officiate because it's so fast. And when you get down to the semifinals and finals, especially if it was a money tournament, you had to have another open player officiate an open match. Unfortunately, I officiated too many open finals because I was beaten in a round or two before. But the point being that you couldn't have a player who was like 2 levels below that officiate that match because they're not going to anticipate, they're not going to see what happens. Well, these officials that are doing NFL games haven't played in the NFL for the most part, right?
What do you want, former players?
Well, I've said this before. I don't think it's a bad idea to set up for like the NBA and the NFL a program that encourages former Division I athletes in that sport to go into officiating as a career because they're close, right?
But most of them don't want to because they know the abuse officials take. People don't want to be officials because they don't make
the job attractive enough, and they'll want to. And it's a way to stay in the game. I disagree with that. I think there's a way to get more capable officials into every sport and to get away from having people that are 20 years older than Greg and me calling games.
Yes, and what you said makes sense, but unless it's an incredibly lucrative job, which it isn't right now, and 2, like Eli said, you don't want the abuse that you're going to get. It's going to be hard. Look, here's my thought. I don't like long games and stuff like that. I understand that. So the amount of penalties can grate on me as well. But all I care about is when they drop the flag or whatever sport it is, and you can use replay, that they get the call right. Just get the call right. In the NFL, they've made this conscious thing of now being able to challenge the pass interferences, even if it wasn't called a pass interference, and nothing's being reversed. So something's going on behind closed doors we don't know. Just get the call right. We had last night 4 major issues in that NFL game, at least, that went against the Lions. I don't care if it takes a second or two. Get the call right. But it seems like there's so many times that a replay official or a referee on the field or whatever, whoever it is, NBA official, They're looking at something that we're all looking at differently.
It was funny last night in the Grizzlies preseason game with Charlotte. Marko Guduric hit a three-pointer, a buzzer beater three-pointer right before the half ended, and they did actually review it. The review lasted 15 seconds, and it was confirmed as good. And it was like, wow, that was a beautiful thing, right?
Sometimes it does work.
Not often. I think part of the problem they do deal with in that is what is indisputable evidence to one person may not be indisputable to another. Like what is that level that replay official considers indisputable?
True. And does every single official, referee, all that, do they all know all the rules? That's a problem too. That some, I think, may have a question or two about a particular rule because everybody's not the same. I mean, everybody's not absolutely 100%. We know the book like the back of our hands. That's a problem too. But to distinguish what is indisputable, you're right. That's the eye of the beholder.
Well, and again, the Texas Tech Baylor game was a referee that just completely didn't know the rule, apparently. Like he called something that was not against the rules for an illegal snap.
Right. You have that issue too. But high
school official thought the 5-yard line was the goal line. That's not knowing where you are.
Even in the Alliance games, we had the eye in the sky. And I don't know how many times on the radio, I'm like, what is this guy looking at? What is he looking at? I'm looking at the same replays he's looking at. But again, to each his own. And unfortunately, it's the pros and the cons of replay.
Some texts here on the Tigers. Somebody says, Donna's right. The Tigers didn't deserve to win. They played an awful game. The Tigers got what they deserved with how they played. Call was bad, yes, but the bottom line is the Tigers turned the ball over 4 times. Somebody else says, the only, all capitals on the only, obstacle the Tigers have to overcome, Brady White as QB. That was, and will always be the reason the Tigers lost the Temple game.
You talk about abuse. Be a quarterback. You get more abuse than you do as an official.
Especially if you're Brady White for some reason.
They're going to heap it on you.
And he was bad. And that, especially in that first half, was really, really bad.
Somebody else says, it's not just the postseason implications that Memphis lost by that botched call. If Memphis and SMU were both undefeated a couple of weeks, game day was possibly coming here. It was on the table in the discussion. Game day wasn't coming here for Memphis and SMU. No. I said somebody tried to tell me this the other night. No, they're not.
My son's with Tiger Sports Properties, and he said, it was a possibility, Dad. And I was like, all right, you guys could think that. Every year we get one of those situations where I hear that, and I go, it's just it's not happening.
They've already contacted the university about doing a – they've probably contacted 20 other schools for that week. They've got a lot of them. They weren't coming for Memphis SMU.
Well, they're doing their groundwork for basketball season.
I mean, it's just –
let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little about the Grizzlies. And you said you were at the game last night, obviously preseason game, but the season starts next week. I said earlier in the show, Eli jumped all over me, but I'm not gauging this on one preseason game. I'm gauging this on
2 preseason games.
3 preseason games. No, I'm just looking at what they have and what I think they can do. And I think it's below the number that Vegas had out there. I think this is like a 22-win team and really going to take their lumps.
Well, I didn't jump on you for that. Let's be fair. I jumped on you because you were already pronouncing Brandon Clark the steal and Jaren Jackson Jr. is not going to be good.
I said Brandon. I was giving you some predictions. I said I think Brandon Clark will be one of the steals of the draft. I really think this guy has what it takes. I love his motor. I said that I think from a star potential situation, there's one guy on the team that has star potential. That's Ja Morant. I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. has this. I don't think he has star potential. Could he be an all-star one season? Absolutely. Is he a very good player? I think so. But I don't think he has the star potential that Ja Morant has. So, and then I said I like Valanciunas a lot. I like Tyus Jones as a backup point guard. But they're not even close to being a deep team. That were my thoughts. He kind of jumped all over me. What do you think about that, and add your own in there?
Yeah. So I will have a column going up at dailymemphian.com later today, kind of examining all the pros and cons from kind of everything you just talked about. For me, I think it's important that you consider the context. And I think from all appearances, Taylor Jenkins is kind of doing what I think you need to do. And that is he's almost treating this as like these are his kids and he's got to be dad. And by that, I mean, as a parent, you never want to be dream crusher for your kids, but sometimes you do have to step in and have a little bit of discipline. But you've got to measure that so you don't crush them. And that's what I kind of heard from him last night. I asked him a question about John Morant, who, again, had some absolutely electric, dynamic, highlight play drives, but also had some drives where it just went horribly wrong, where he ran into all kinds of traffic and a wild shot got thrown up. And basically, his bottom line is, I don't want him taking his foot off the gas pedal. I want him to think that he can run through a brick wall, but basically come to understand over time, oh, there's a brick wall there. Now I have to do something else. And I thought that was the exact right answer. You can, if you go about trying to limit these young potential stars too early, I think you lower their eventual ceiling without necessarily raising their floor. And so I think he's kind of got the right approach on that. Brandon Clark looked really good last night, but by his own admission, he's like, not this, long, super tall guy. And he said, I've got to play hard, right? Yep. So he's not always going to produce like that. He himself realizes he's got some legitimate physical limitations in the NBA game. Even Ja was like, yeah, I had some good plays, but I made some bad plays. I got to do a little better job of picking my spot. So I say all that to say, you're going to see them lose to the Charlotte Hornets again. You're going to see them lose to the Phoenix Suns. You're also going to see them every once in a great while jump up, put it all together, and knock off the Los Angeles Clippers or the 76ers or somebody, and then they're going to lose 5 in a row, right? And that's what it's going to be. So it's kind of, you're watching. It's like watching your kids take pictures, enjoy the ride.
I just want them to this year, to me, is just all about the entertainment value of it. Let's just be entertaining and losing the games. And I think with Ja and Jaren and Clark, I think they have the potential to be really entertaining. Even if they're down by 20, just entertain me.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll entertain you. I mean, they'll drive you crazy. I mean, I had this in my story today. There was a fan courtside last night. It was like, you're not playing New Zealand anymore. Come on, you got to be better. Well, that's what the coach and the players said afterward. Yeah, we've got to be better. You're not playing the New Zealand Breakers anymore, and that's going to be a bad Charlotte Hornets team. I think we all know that, right? So you're going to have some rough, ugly moments. Marko Guduric threw a pass that was, as I said in the story, every bit as bad as a Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston pass that was intercepted by Terry Rozier and taken down the other end for a layup. It was just like, it was so telegraphed. He was trying to get it to Morant, and it was so telegraphed. But that's going to be part of it.
Well, they went to in the Breakers game, they had that stretch there in the third quarter, I guess it was, where they went 2 minutes where they couldn't score against the Breakers. And the Breakers got within 6, and then all of a sudden they pulled back away. But there will be some walls offensively when you're dealing with a bunch of young guys and there's not a bunch of guys who could just all right, give me the ball, I'll go get us a bucket.
And you know what they still don't have? What if the Grizzlies, for the most part, never had, except when Mike Miller was here, a pure three-point shooter?
I was just going to bring that up.
That guy is, like Grayson Allen shot the ball really well the first game, not quite as well the second. He missed them all last night. Jay Crowder made 3, but he took 9. So, I mean, there's not a pure knockdown three-point shooter on this team until somebody puts together a string of games that says otherwise.
Has Jay Crowder ever taken 9 three-point shots in a game?
He took 522 threes last year.
I didn't know he shot that many threes.
That's all he is. He's a three-point shooter.
So
He's a 3-and-D guy. He's the perfect 3-and-D guy.
I didn't know he shot that many threes, but I like him a lot. I like the fact that, look, they've turned the page. Everything's different. Taylor Jenkins, I like what they're doing with how they want to run the offense. Spread it out, knock down the threes. But that's the question. If you have a hot night where Tyus Jones off the bench and Grayson and especially Dylan Brooks and a couple of the other guys hitting Jay Crowder, you're going to have a chance to pull those upsets, like you said, and stay in games and make it real competitive. On nights like last night, when they're having a tough time finding the ocean from the pier, that's going to be those nights you're losing by 20, 25 points.
And they had, just to go further inside, they had some possessions in that game. They weren't, they shot like 28%, I think, from 3 last night. Like there was one possession where Tyus was so wide open, and he ended up throwing the ball all the way across the court because he didn't want to he's not a three-point shooter. And then you had Marco, who was 1 for 5 from deep last night. He had a wide open look. He didn't want to take it either. And
he overpassed.
Does any of this
right?
sound familiar? Right?
Well, field from the field, 39%. You're not winning any games at 39% from the field. You're going to have to get some easy buckets, and that's where Valanciunas comes into play.
Right. He would have helped a lot. There was just all over the floor. They just met a lot more resistance last night than they had against New Zealand and the Israeli League team.
Any thoughts before we let you go on the American Conference Basketball Media Day? I think it's pretty understandable with the coaches' poll that.
So some SIDs don't have confidence in Memphis, right?
No. Don't like Penny. That was the narrative yesterday.
A couple of them
right?
probably thought Tubby was still coach. I don't know.
So you're giving no credit to the coaches having filled these out, right?
I have my doubts about how many coaches were actively involved, but maybe
I think coaches actually do those things. I do think they do the preseason stuff.
Well, then, okay, I see green-eyed jealousy. If that's the case,
because I honestly, I honestly do think if they didn't and they just gave it to their SIDs and said, "Fill this out for me," I don't really care. I think that Memphis would have been the pick. Well, I really think the only people that wouldn't pick Memphis to win this conference is coaches.
Yeah,
and Kelvin, but Kelvin Sampson did come out and say that Memphis is it's like looking at Duke, with that type of talent. So I'm going to guess that Kelvin Sampson voted Memphis first place, but there are others out there.
Well, unless he was the one who voted Cincinnati, he has to be.
That's right. That's right. He could.
Yeah, that might have been.
Oh, you can't vote for yourself. Okay, so maybe he was the one who voted Cincinnati, but I could see where some want to see Penny prove it, and others where it's like, I'm tired of Memphis getting all the pub here. So
right.
There's a little jealousy involved too. But look, they're going to roll out the ball. They're going to get out there on the court pretty soon and play some basketball for keeps. So I think there's an extreme amount of excitement. But you got two all-conference preseason teams. Wiseman, understandably, is right there, not the preseason player of the year, but he's a first-teamer. But you got a Precious Achiuwa who goes with the Memphis contingent to Philadelphia, a guy who's penciled in as a possible top 10 pick in the draft next year. And he's not even on either team, so nor is all these other highly recruited guys.
I wasn't as bothered by that because, we
got to prove yourself.
Well, and we don't know how the rotations are going to shake out. We don't know for sure how many people he's going to play, who's going to, be touching the ball the most. None of what we do know is it's the number one class, and there's a lot of depth, which says you probably should have voted them to win the league. But if you're not sure who's going to do what and who's going to rise to the level of all conference beyond Wiseman, I don't really have a problem with that. It's always better to be on those teams after the season, not before the season.
The funny thing, what's weird about it, though, is USF had 3 all-conference.
That was crazy.
And they picked them 5th.
That was
crazy.
crazy.
If you think 3 of the 10 best players in the league and they're going to finish 5th, that's crazy. Like in a league like this, if you have any league, if you have 3 of the 10 best players in the league and you finish 5th, then you're just a horrendous coach.
No, that's what I was just going to say.
Or the rest of your team is like us. Like you've got 3 really good guys, but even then you should finish better than 5th.
Isn't it Brian Gregory? Is he still there? Brian Gregory, the coaches who filled out these things again, or SIDs, they're like, okay, we love these 3 players here. Let's put him 5th because Brian Gregory is just a terrible.
That's a lot of shade right there.
They're coming off a CBI championship, for goodness sake. Like they're coming in with momentum here.
That's true, man. That was an epic parade they had for the CBI title. So,
hey, listen, if it was UCF that won a CBI title, somehow they'd become the national champions out of that. So don't make too much fun of those teams down there in Florida. This hour of the program is brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Check them out at your local liquor store. Get yourself a 4-pack or more. Great for tailgate parties, great for any party, and great for you to enjoy. Barrel Thief is the 12-ounce. It comes in a 12-ounce can. It's just like an old-fashioned. It's a bourbon drink with bitters, a hint of orange, and a touch of vanilla. 15% alcohol by volume. Then you've also got the Sneaky Pucker, which is the vodka drink. Tastes basically just like lemonade. It's super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade as well. These are great, and that's a 12.5% alcohol by volume as well. You can get 4 packs for $15.99. It's a drink right there in a can. You can drink it out of the can. You can try it over ice. It is delicious. They are delicious. Check them out. 34 North Cocktails.
All right, Don, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Check out Don's great stories at the Daily Memphian and follow him on Twitter at DWadeMEM. Catch him every Tuesday right here on Middays. We'll take a break. When we come back, we've got 2.5 questions, our final half hour of the day. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab a seat for happy hour. Johnny Radio's happy hour from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so, too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing. At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
We're caught in a trap.
So we are now underway in the offensive line portion of the XFL draft. They started that at noon. The only, in the skill position portion of the draft, the only player I saw with Memphis ties, I believe, was Cameron Clear, the former tight end at Texas A&M who went to, I think, Central High School.
Mm-hmm.
He was drafted in round 9 by the Dragons, whoever that is.
I'm going Seattle.
I think that's Seattle. I think
Seattle,
yeah. There were some, Tennessee players, Mississippi State players. There were no Memphis players. Now, in the offensive line portion of the draft, seen some Tennessee guys going, some Middle Tennessee State guys, some Mississippi State guys, but still nobody, I don't believe, with any actual Memphis ties.
But stay tuned. There will be a few of them later on as the XFL draft continues for the next 72 hours.
Well, that was the thing. They took like an hour break in between the phases. So if they're going to take an hour break between every one of the phases, this may actually wrap up tomorrow afternoon. And I have to believe they're not doing the whole thing today. No, they're not. I don't, because I know it goes to, it was a 2-day draft. That's right. So I bet they're doing I think there's 5 phases, and then I bet they'll do the open phase tomorrow.
I would say, because they were rolling through phase 1 when I was watching. Like 3-minute breaks, then boom, round 3,
I bet they'll
round
do
4.
all of the positions, and then they'll do the open phase all tomorrow, which is like 30 rounds or whatever.
How many players will constitute a roster?
71.
71. Do you know how many active
That's how many
players?
They're drafting.
They're drafting 71.
I don't know what they're going to, how many they're keeping and all that stuff, but I know they're drafting.
Who will the XFL Mr. Irrelevant be? That's the question.
Well, they technically draft 70 because they already had the quarterback aside, so they're drafting 70. The roster will be 71 after the draft.
Okay.
That's what they have to fill it out to. All right. Also, I have deciphered this text message that we got earlier, and I hope the person listening, or said it's still listening, but because it was the way it came in, it was weird. It was all out of order and everything else. But I have deciphered this text message. And
what are you, Nicolas Cage or something?
I like this text message. It's a letter to Mike Schilt.
This is like an open letter that people put on Twitter or something. Is what this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, a letter to Mike Schilt.
Dear Mike Schilt, I am a lifelong Cardinals fan. I watch and or listen to as many games as possible. I love baseball, and yet I'm not upset about this NLCS debacle. You are getting humiliated in every facet of the game, and it is exactly what you deserve. Your profanity-laced tirade after beating the Braves was beyond arrogant. Come on, man, it was the Braves after all. It was foolishly premature after the first round. How does it sound now? You're not kicking anybody or anything, not even the dust of the base paths. It was an embarrassment, not just to Cardinal Nation, but to men everywhere who seek to model how real manhood should display itself. So I encourage you to eat this humble pie, chew every bite, swallow hard, and learn. Learn that the time for talking is after the trophy is sitting on the shelf. Learn that the way to talk is with complete respect for all who compete against you. Learn to sit fouler, which I just love he throws that in.
I love how he just throws that in right in the middle of all this.
That makes me laugh that he's still got to get a shot at Dexter Fowler. You are close to having an entire offseason to read. Yes, read. I think you'd be amazed at the plethora of descriptive possibilities in our language that you could use instead of gutter talk.
Wow.
My first reaction when I read your decipheration of this text was, this has got to be that Penn State fan who sent the letter to the Penn State players because it's so over the top. But then my second reaction is, well, most of Cardinal Nation loved Mike Schildt's speech, and I wish he would do it again right now because we could use a little fire. I thought it was fantastic. I wish he'd do it again. I think it's crazy, but hey, to each their own, I guess.
I just love that he said, learn to sit Fowler in the middle of all of this.
I know, I just love by the way, sit Fowler. And back to what I was saying.
Dexter Fowler sucks. Put him on the bench. Anyways, read this offseason. Read. I tell you, you can learn a lot. Time now for 2.5 questions.
Who, what, where, when, how, and why. Questions start with these. Step right up and answer all my questions, if you please.
I'm just a normal kid, like you, except that I ask questions. And because I'm brave enough to ask questions, I come under scrutiny.
Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions?
Now here is a question for you.
What does the fuck say?
All right, question number 1. We know what happened with the preseason selections, but after the season, the American Athletic Conference will name a first, second, and third team all-conference, making up, there'll be 15 players. They'll also announce a 5-member all-freshman team. How many Tigers will make all-conference in the postseason, and how many will be on the all-freshman team?
Excuse me, got me all choked up. I think there'll be 3 on the all-freshman team. And I think there'll be, are you asking, what are there, 2 teams?
3 teams.
3 teams, so 15 players, right? They don't do the SEC and put 40 of them. I would say there will be 4 to 5. I'll go 4 on those final 15 spots for all conference. 4.
4 all conference, 3 all freshmen.
Yes.
So four of the starting five, or just four in general?
4 among the 3 teams.
Yeah, 4 among the 3 teams. And I think there'll probably be an argument at the end that they could have had 4 on the all-freshman team. I think it'll be like controversial. I think you'll end up having Wiseman, Precious, and Damian Ball on the all-freshman team. And there'll be the argument that either Canonez or Boogie, one of the two, could be a 4th one. And, again, on the all-conference teams, Wiseman, Precious, Damian Ball, Canonez, and I think Boogie will probably, I might even stretch it to 5. 5 of the 15. 1/3 will be Tigers. So that's what I'll do. I'll do 5 on the all-conference teams because you're going first, second, and third team, and then I'll go 3 on the all-freshmen.
Okay. This is a little of the players who are remaining in the postseason baseball, not pitchers, the position players. Give me the top 5 you'd like to have on your team. And now this is, you can take into consideration position, but don't worry about age because we're talking about having them on your team right now.
I'd want Judge. I want Rendon. I think I'd want Springer. Do I want Torres? Think here. Probably want Altuve. I'll go Altuve. And do I want anybody from the Cardinals? I don't see it.
Flaherty? Not even Flaherty?
He said
pitchers. Listen.
My bad. Sorry. Yeah, there's not much offense, if that's what you're looking for.
But you're missing an obvious one that you'd have to take, not for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm missing something for the Nats, aren't I?
No. You got to take Bregman from that. I mean, Bregman's like the best player on the Astros.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just looking at their lineup to see who I missed, but I'm just double checking here with the Yankees because I like Torres a lot. But LeMahieu was incredible, but I don't. You're talking about just for the season or moving forward?
Who you'd want on your team for these playoffs?
Oh, for the playoffs, I'd go Springer, Altuve, Brantley, Judge.
Brantley.
Are we looking for strictly offense, or do we want some defense in there as well?
Well, you could take into account the position and all that stuff.
Because Colton Wong is an incredible defensive player right now.
I'm picking 5 players.
No way you would take Colton Wong as one of the top 5 players remaining in the postseason. Right. He wouldn't even be close. Maybe if you're doing the top 25.
Rendon is definitely on my team from the Nationals. It doesn't have to be, every team doesn't have to be represented. I understand that. I'm definitely taking Judge. I'm taking, not Brantley, I'm taking Bregman, I'm taking Springer, and I'm taking Altuve. There's the 5 I'm taking.
So 3 Astros.
3 Astros.
So we talk about the Astros pitching staff, and you say they have 3 of the top 5 position players available.
Yeah, that's why I picked them before the season started, and I'll continue to pick them to win it all. But, yeah, I'll go with those. Yeah, that 5.
Okay.
I know I'm obviously leaving good players off, but.
I'm going to give you 2 quarterbacks. You tell me which one you would rather have for the next 5 years in the NFL.
Okay.
Your NFL team. Which quarterback would you rather have for the next 5 years? Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, that's tough. I'll give the lean to Deshaun Watson.
I agree with that. I love Deshaun Watson.
Dak Prescott, Jared Goff.
I'm going Dak.
I'm going Goff.
Goff has really struggled. He's really struggled. I'm still going to go Dak. I know Dak has struggled here recently too, but
Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston.
I have to take one of them?
You have to pick one of those guys?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Winston.
Gee, boy, that is... How do you pick one of those guys?
Winston at least will have some games where he'll throw...
I think that might be to me, it's a no-brainer. It's Winston.
Yeah, out of those two, I guess, because Mariota can't stay healthy, and Winston has at least shown more than Mariota
Well,
has.
Mariota, here's the thing with Mariota. He will throw less interceptions and make less mistakes, but he'll have a game of a solid game would be like 185 passing yards and maybe a touchdown. Winston can go off and throw 4 touchdowns or run for a touchdown and throw for 3, and then you have games where he throws 4 picks or 5 like he did in London.
Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield?
I'm sticking with Mayfield, even though Kyler Murray has done some nice things and Mayfield has not. But I'm not going to go away from what I said going into the season. You were with me on the Kyler Murray thing. Maybe we'll both be wrong about that.
I got to stick with Baker.
I'm sticking with the Baker.
For now.
Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo?
You're just making this tougher as we go along.
Well, all Garoppolo's doing is winning football games. I'm going to go Jimmy G.
I guess I'm looking at it right now. I mean...
All he does is win.
Because Jimmy doesn't have the talent that Baker Mayfield has around him, and he's doing more with it. So,
Gardner Minshew or Kyle Allen?
I think for the comedy aspect of it, the fun, I'm going with Minshew.
Old mustache.
The Uncle Rico, the whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle.
Well, you took Jimmy Garoppolo because all he's done is win. Kyle Allen literally has done nothing but win.
I know.
Yeah, he hadn't lost a game yet.
He literally has
small sample size, but 5 games. 5-0 overall.
Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones?
I'm going to go with Sam Darnold.
It's so hard for me to pick this one because Daniel Jones and neither one of them play for a good team. That's a tough one to pick right there.
Right.
I guess I'd have to go Darnold too because I've seen more of him so far. I haven't seen enough of Daniel Jones yet to really know what he's made of.
All right. Kyler Murray or Tua Tagovailoa?
Tua.
Well, I mean, right now I'm going with Kyler. I hadn't seen Tua in the NFL yet. Just
I love
college
me some
quarterback.
Tua. I love me some Tua.
Quarterback.
I love me some Tua. Get it?
That is it.
5-star Jaden Springer, according to reports, has said the announcement date is coming soon. He's down to 3 schools: Tennessee, Michigan, and Memphis. Tennessee, Michigan, and Memphis. The 5-star performer Jaden Springer.
Somebody texted and said, "Who is Ahmad Caver? The Grizzlies just signed. He is going to be a member of the Memphis Hustle. He's not going to be a part of the Grizzlies. He's what was he? Where was he from?
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion. He is an Exhibit 10 player. He'll be here for like a day. He'll get waived, and he'll be a player for the Hustle.
And the Rockets have lost wing Gerald Green for the season. Broken left foot, a fracture that will require season-ending surgery.
The folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment can take care of all your equipment needs. If you're looking for new equipment, they certainly have plenty of that with the complete line of Case Farmall tractors. They've also got the Bush Hog cutters, the Bush Hog zero-turn lawnmowers as well. You've got new equipment, used equipment as well. If you're looking to trade in equipment on some new stuff, they will certainly take your trade in. They'll even come out to you and look at your trade in for you. If you need service on your equipment as you're out there in the fields and your equipment breaks down, they are the ones to call to get you back up and operational once again. 662-890-3141 is the phone number for Mid-South Ag. You can go by and see them. They're just south of Collierville. It's on Goodman Road. It's a half-mile west of the Goodman Road exit off of I-269. You can see the dealership from I-269 because they've got so much equipment, such a big place. You can see it from I-269, just a half mile west of there. Boom. So easy to get to, and go see the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Again, Case IH Farmall series of tractors, Bush Hog cutters, Bush Hog zero-turn lawnmowers. They've got it for you. New, used, service, whatever you're looking for. Call the folks or go see the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
All right, one more segment to go. We'll come back and put a wrap on the program with one final thing. Got a few other nuggets to end this show on, and we'll tell you about what's happening on the program tomorrow. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
The people have spoken.
About what?
What do you think?
Well, you're here, so it must be Central Barbecue.
Central Barbecue, the Memphis Most Awards from the Commercial Appeal.
Let me guess. Best barbecue?
Best barbecue sandwich, best ribs.
Impressive.
But wait, there's more. The Memphis Flyer Best of Awards.
Best barbecue?
Best barbecue, best ribs.
This all seems very familiar.
That's because it happens every year. Central Barbecue is always Memphis' favorite in all things barbecue.
I meant this copy seems familiar.
Oh, it's pretty much the same spot from last year.
Mom, I think this doll I found in the attic is cursed.
No, its eyes are just very lifelike.
Then why does its head keep spinning?
Be my friend forever.
Oh, that is scary.
You know what's really scary? Missing out on Geico's easy-to-use mobile app. You can manage your Geico policy whenever, wherever.
Let's play with another doll. Or we can just bury it deep in the ground.
Happy Geico Week. Download the industry-leading Geico app today.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Shoot for free at the newest and largest gun range in the Mid-South. Join Sports 56 Middays this Friday on the road at Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road, formerly Range USA in Bartlett. Pick up a free range pass and win a pair of Memphis vs. Tulane tickets. Top Gun, the largest indoor range in the Mid-South with over 22,000 square feet of fun and great barbecue at Ferguson's Barbecue. Carry permit classes from $75. Unlimited memberships as low as $29 a month. Top Gun, the only range in town where you can rent fully automatic weapons and shoot them on site. That's this Friday at Top Gun in Bartlett. Come shoot with us.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Let's do it.
Tomorrow we're going to be on location at the Crown Plaza East Hotel. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School All-Star Game Coaches Luncheon will take place. We'll hear from those coaches tomorrow, plus our regulars, Jerry Palm, Sigmund Bloom. Also, Joe Theismann is going to join us tomorrow to talk some NFL. We'll have dinner and a movie. It's all coming up tomorrow starting at 10 o'clock. I am trying to find the details of this, but I saw on Twitter where there's a, again, it's going to fall on deaf ears, but a petition is being put together about the outlandish overturn of the call in the game on Saturday between the Tigers and Temple. Don Wade, if you're listening, you want to put this thing to bed, you want to move on, well, apparently they're trying to put a petition together. So, again, if I can find the details, I'll go ahead and put it on my Twitter feed at Greg, at Greg_Gaston. But
maybe we should hire Elijah Strait to represent the Tigers in a case against the American Athletic Conference.
Hey, I like it.
He's trying to change the world. Somebody go down to the Strait & Associates there on Front Street, knock on the door, and see if we can see if Elijah's in the office today. Maybe he could represent in this in a lawsuit against the conference.
Did you watch last night?
I did watch last night.
It was good. I don't know about what the ratings are going to be. Think about this. Last night,
it's the same as every other episode. It's okay,
but it was the whole unrest and prejudice and all that stuff like that. The racial tensions brewing up. It was a little bit more to it, and here's the problem. You are Monday night. You got Monday Night Football. Around this area, you have the Cardinals obviously were playing. You had even the Grizzlies on TV, albeit a preseason game. But then around the country, you're going up against the Good Doctor. You're going up against Bull. You have a nice lead-in in The Voice. Hopefully they don't lose any more of their viewers because each week it's gone down a little bit. But I think they've done a pretty nice job.
Yeah. Elijah and Sydney I bet they could get that call overturned. Tigers could be undefeated. Elijah never loses.
Yeah,
Elijah does not lose. He would if we could get him to represent the Tigers against the American Athletic Conference, they'll have Mike Oresco eating out of their hands by the end of that thing.
I said to my wife last night, we're watching, I go, he's going to lose this one. They got to lose. One of the weeks he has to lose. Now he wins again.
Elijah doesn't lose. Elijah's not losing. What you think? Jimmy Smith don't lose? It's not what he does. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Oregon projected NBA lottery pick N'Faly Dante has been informed he will be ineligible to start the season because the NCAA missed his clearance date. That's according to The Athletic and Stadium. Dante is a 6'11" big man out of Mali. He says he will now re-enroll at Oregon on December 14th. So two things happening here. One, what's going on? How does the NCAA screw that up and miss the deadline? Two, that means Memphis will not be going up against him when they take on this pretty solid and talented Ducks team when they go out to Oregon early in the season. Here's what he said. I left my home 4 years ago with a dream and 3 goals. Graduate from high school, attend the university, and play college basketball. None of that has changed. On December 14th, 2019, I plan to enroll and play college basketball with the University of Oregon. I have completed my academic requirements, and I'm currently waiting for the NCAA eligibility process to finalize. We are hopeful this will conclude soon and have asked the NCAA to keep my goal of December 14th, 2019 enrollment date in mind. Again,
how does the NCAA punish a guy for their mistake?
Again, unless his paperwork got in late, but it says the NCAA missed his clearance date. So if that's the case, they screwed this thing up. But that is a player that Memphis will not be going up against in November.
A lot of folks that I wanted to see him on the other side against Wiseman and Precious and those third guys. So some folks will be a little disappointed. There'll be some NBA scouts that will be disappointed for sure.
I'm sure.
That would want to see that matchup. So the BetOnline.ag has released their updated Heisman odds. Where are you putting your money out of this? Tua is 4-7. Joe Burrow 15-4. Jalen Hurts 9-2. Justin Fields and Jonathan Taylor both 10-1.
Okay, here's my thought process on this. Last year, I thought Tua was winning the thing, and then he didn't win it. Joe Burrow at 15-4. If they upset Alabama, Joe Burrow will probably be the Heisman winner. So I like those odds, but I still don't like LSU to beat Alabama. Tua, I think is going to be the winner, but he didn't win last year. I was wrong about that. So I guess my money would go probably on Jalen Hurts if I'm going to throw a few dollars down, because Oklahoma, if they get the rematch with Texas or if it's Baylor or somebody else, they win the Big 12 championship, they're probably headed to the playoff.
They're not giving it to a third straight Oklahoma quarterback.
See, again,
they're not going to do it.
You got my mindset that they take all this stuff into consideration. They shouldn't take any of this into consideration.
They're not giving it to a third straight Oklahoma quarterback.
You think it's impossible? No way.
If there's nobody else, like if Tua gets hurt, all these other guys get hurt and miss games and all that stuff. But if there's anybody else to give it to that's comparable at all, they're going to give it to him.
Who's the fourth guy that you said? Was it Taylor?
Taylor and Fields.
And what were their numbers?
They're 10-1.
See, again, I don't think Wisconsin's beaten Ohio State, so I would eliminate Jonathan Taylor, although this could be the year that a running back surprises all these quarterbacks. Fields, with Ohio State beating Wisconsin, winning the Big Ten, he's in the mix as well. They are good odds. I wouldn't bet on Tua because the odds aren't good, but I think he'll win it. I would take a chance with Jalen Hurts for a three-peat with Oklahoma, because I think Burrow's numbers are great as far as the odds.
So you're going to place you're going to place what you believe is a losing bet rather than place a winning bet with less odds.
No, what are you saying?
You said, I'm not going to bet on Tua, but I think he's going to win.
Well, if
you're going to make a losing bet.
Well, that's gambling. I mean, if we're going for something with like a lot of times I'll go when I used to go and bet horse racing, there'd be a heavy favorite, like 1-5. And I go, I think that horse at 1-5 is probably going to win this race. But I'm getting nothing on this, right? I'd have to bet like Floyd Mayweather type money, and I don't have that. I'm going to take this other horse I think has a chance, and I'll pick it to win in place, and the odds are 10-1. So even though I feel good that this other horse is going to win, I'm not going to get anything back from that. I'm going to go ahead and take something with better odds. That's my thought here, that maybe Burrow. Now, Burrow beats Alabama. I'm telling you, this guy is on his way to a Heisman, but I don't think it's happening. So there you go. Big thanks to Brad Logan, Steve Macy, Don Wade for joining us on the program today. Again, tomorrow we're coming to you from the Crowne Plaza East Hotel as the AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School All-Star Game Coaches Luncheon will take place. Hope you'll tune in for that. And stay tuned for Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. It is coming up next. For Austin Eldridge and Eli Savoie, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.
Tennessee just couldn't hit the spot.